2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
And welcome everybody to another edition of the C3 Friday Free-For-All. As always, I am your host, Cody Lashney, here to host this virtual Panthers roundtable. Nick Montiero, what's up, Nick?
What's up, Cody? I'm up here in AJ country, aka Maine, and hanging out in the Jeep, getting ready to go do a little bit of off-roading tomorrow and Sunday before the game, and I couldn't miss the Friday free-for-all for anything. Got to hang out with the fans, got to talk about this Panthers football team and the game on Sunday, which, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, man. It's like people who are Christians, they go to church on Sunday and they go to Bible study every Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're a Panther fan, man, this is like your Bible study, man. This is where we talk about everything Panthers and everything you need to know about this football team. Once again, I want to point everybody's attention to, if you want to join the show today, you can absolutely come on. I've left the link in the description of the Facebook and the YouTube video, and it's in the chat room on YouTube. If you want to come in and join this discussion, you're absolutely able to. Justin, what's going on, man? B. Amos. Now let me introduce AJ Lindsay. AJ, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Cody? What's going on, fellas?
Do you prefer Drew or AJ?
Drew's fine, man. Either one.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody calls me Drew.
Drew, I appreciate it. Drew, how you been, man? I'm glad you could join the show, man.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be here with everybody for the Friday night free-for-all. Ready for the Panthers versus the Vikings on Sunday, and hopefully we're walking away with a victory to go to 4-2. But, we'll see. We got a few things to discuss tonight, especially when it involves Matt Rhule and this offensive line of sorts. So, looking forward to a great show tonight.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to a fantastic show. Dude, we have so much to talk about. And listen, Karen Troy already knows the deal, y'all. Slap the like button on your way in, man. That helps us get seen by the algorithm. Lets people share in this discussion. We appreciate it as always. I'm also being joined by Kevin Boshoven. Kevin, we're doing this Friday free-for-all, and my Clemson Tigers are getting ready to play. So I've got my Tigers on my TV over here. If ever you see your boy peeking over looking, I'm trying to, see if my team is, if our offense is still as terrible as it has been the past few weeks. So never mind that. But Kevin, if my Tigers start to lose, you'll be here to make fun of me in real time.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know they're playing tonight. Who are they playing?
Syracuse.
Oh, man, you're going to blow it.
No, we should, right? Like we should blow them out the water, but sadly, my Panthers offense isn't the only team that has offensive struggles right
Whose
now.
offense is worse, Clemson's or Carolina's?
Oof.
Carolina.
Considering how much talent Clemson has, I might say Clemson, but I don't know.
They're all young, right? Clemson's players, they're all young, man.
Yeah, true. But also, we're expecting to put up like 50 points in the ACC every week, and that just
I think Clemson's having a little come down to realize they're not Alabama. They're not going to just reload every year and reload every year.
Dude, we can get into it, but this is not a Clemson Tiger podcast. This is a Carolina Panthers podcast. Yeah, well, I had to rep my squad. My team is playing, and I had to show some support, show some love. Before we jump into this discussion, Panther Rhule, Kenneth, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, guys. I just want to say something. How you liking Vols, boys? Didn't they look good last week?
Who'd they play? Who'd they play?
They played the Gamecocks.
Oh, that's right.
Or should I say the Suckcocks?
Oh,
they were that bad.
My cousin and her husband were at that game. My cousin's a Gamecock fan. He's a Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
So she took a picture. Like, I'm drinking this game. I'm drinking the game.
I was looking at the schedule the other day, and I realized that we actually have Clemson coming up. So we may actually end the season pretty good.
Carolina had a comeback.
Oh, no.
I'm
sure that'll be fun. But yeah, man, listen, let's jump into this Carolina Panther discussion.
Yeah, let's do
it. That's what we're all here for. And listen, there's a whole bunch on the docket today. There's some breaking news about, Christian McCaffrey not being available for the Minnesota Vikings. We have to talk about what that means for our chances. But also, we haven't spoken to you guys since we lost to Philadelphia. And I kind of want to go around here real quick and get everybody's diagnostic report on, one, just that game in general, and two, where you think the Panthers are at right now. And then we'll kind of use that to springboard the discussion. So you're sitting right next to me, Drew. So why don't you go ahead and take this one first, man?
All right, man. Only thing I can say about that game, it comes down to the offensive line. I'm sorry. Chuba did everything he could. The defense did everything that they could. That offensive line was horrendous. I mean, as I was telling you before we even started the show, that offensive line, Philadelphia played Tampa Bay last night. And Philadelphia ran the same defense against Tampa Bay that they ran against our offensive line, and Brady did not get touched. Yeah. I mean, the tackles ran the ends up the field. The guard and center were playing in tandem. They tried to run the same stunts against Tampa Bay, and they got smashed.
They really did, man. And I mentioned this to you before the show. People were once upon a time talking about Leonard Fournette as a bust. But, man, when you can run behind that Tampa Bay offensive line, dude, Leonard Fournette is looking like a top 10 pick, man.
Yeah.
He's really looking good. That offensive line is really big, really nasty. What do you think about just the overall performance from the football team? Matt Rhule got a ton of slack in his press conference for basically kind of pinning the blame on the defense rather than the offense that was struggling so mightily. What did you make of that, Drew?
I'm sorry. I mean, personally, I like Matt Rhule, and I know a lot of people don't or still have reservations about him. I particularly like the guy for the most part, but you can't throw your defense under the bus like that. I understand his thought process in doing that is because he's like, everybody's already piling on the offensive line. I know the offensive line is the problem, but, I'm trying to shift a little bit over to the defense to get it off of them so that they just won't really implode, even though they really already have.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can't ask that defense to do more than what they did. They gave the offense the ball in plus territory on 3 different occasions. They actually set them up when they took over the ball. They were already in field goal range. And penalties and dumb plays and not getting the ball, Sam Darnold had a Terrace Marshall on the sideline, and he overthrew him. You can't do things like that when your defense is setting you up for points. I mean, even if they had gotten 3 points out of that, we still would have been in a decent position. And then the special teams, I mean, like, come on now. Only thing you have to do is punt the darn ball, and then that means they have to draw the length of the field on our defense, and they haven't been able to do that all day. But you get it blocked? Really?
Yeah, there was so many maddening aspects to that game, man. Real quick, 89 J Stubbs with the 199 says, to me, Matt Rhule seemed overwhelmed this week, and I think a lot of us would agree with you on that, 89 J Stubbs. But real quick, let me welcome this man to the show. He believes himself to be the king of all things fantasy football. If you watch the PNP podcast, you know him, you love him. It's Dave. Dave, what's up, brother?
Oh, Dave.
What's up, Dave?
Man?
Hi, Dave.
Chilling, man. Hey, we're trying to figure out what's wrong with this damn football team, bro.
I already told y'all what's wrong with this football team, man.
But there's a lot wrong with this football team. There's a lot wrong with this football team, man. I mean,
we already know what's wrong with it.
Well, go ahead, Kevin. What's wrong with this football team, man? Is it just the offensive line, or is there other areas of blame that we're not dishing out enough of?
I don't even see it as the whole offensive line. It's just the interior, I think. It's mostly – I mean, the tackles can be better, but I think it's mostly
and to our
don't let one game of our tackles actually playing well blind you from the fact that our tackles
I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're good. I'm just saying they're not the worst thing on – the worst thing we need to worry about.
But listen, can we admit that Taylor Moton – whatever you think about him being at left, fine. If you prefer him at right, fine, dude. I'm not even trying to argue with you at this point in time. But can we?
No. I'm not there.
Yeah,
I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, can we at least give Taylor Moton some credit that on the drop of a hat, they moved my man back to left tackle when that isn't where he's been taking snaps, and they moved my man over there, and he was still our better offensive lineman that entire day, man. It just it leads to my argument that the Panthers should have tried out this formation a long time ago,
back against the Jets.
Especially if they already view Brady Christensen as a long-term right tackle. Like, why wouldn't you try this out earlier and give them a position to gel?
I'm gonna be honest. If you're gonna try Brady Christensen out there, give that man the best chance to succeed and let him play at his natural position.
True.
And why would you flip those two?
That's my point. Like, there's like experts of offensive linemen that question why they made the decision to flip those two. Yeah. Taylor Moton's natural position is right. Brady Christensen's natural position is left. Why don't you play him there? But I always talk about Matt Rhule occasionally having Ron Rivera tendencies when it comes to some of these rookies. And this might be it when it comes to the left tackle. And this might be it when it comes to the offensive line position in general.
Yes, Dave, I've been saying the same thing, man, that he has these Ron Rivera tendencies of going with the established veteran over even giving our young players a chance to even fail or succeed at that position. Like, you're just kicking the can down the road of evaluation into next year when you also don't know if Deontay Brown or Brady Christensen are ready to be a meaningful starter on the offensive line. Like, we're just delaying the inevitable. And that's what's so frustrating about this football team right now, man.
When we're talking about Sam Darnold, I remember you brought up, like, he missed Marshall open and everything. It's kind of – this ain't Madden. It's real life. So, like, if your quarterback's getting hit and hit over and over again, and the offensive line can give, like, perfect protection, he's probably still going to miss that receiver open just from just getting hit so many fucking times.
This is the first game, and I've been pretty glowing of Sam Darnold. I think that I've been one of his bigger defenders, but yet I have always maintained that he had to go out there and prove it, just like Bridgewater had to go out there and prove it. Well, this is the first game that I really feel like Sam Darnold helped to turn the tide in the favor of Philadelphia, man. Throwing into double coverage, trying to force the ball to DJ Moore whenever they needed to make a play. I mean, it really lends to this argument that the Panthers don't really have an offense outside of McCaffrey because their offensive line won't allow them to have that kind of offense.
I can counter that, and I can't believe I'm defending Sam, but I can counter that by saying
me neither, by the way. But I want to hear.
But no. I can counter that by saying I've been saying since Joe Brady showed up that the quarterback's not the problem. That's why I didn't agree with the trade. That's why I didn't agree with the pickup of Sam Darnold. Not because I didn't like the guy. I thought it was because of the scheme, right? If this scheme, even if Joe Brady's scheme is meant to throw the ball down the field, it's obvious he doesn't have the personnel to do that with the line. But swapping quarterbacks doesn't fix that problem.
It doesn't fix that problem if it's Sam Darnold, because I think Sam Darnold, he can make the deep passes, but he's never going to be able to do it under a tremendous amount of pressure like a Patrick Mahomes or a Deshaun Watson or some of these other players.
But Cody, the numbers show that he's not a good deep passer. Like the statistics show that he's not good throwing the ball deep.
But he's never had an offensive line to protect him to do the deep passes.
But even with a clean pocket, like in the NFL, you're not going to always have a clean pocket. Like that's just the natural facts of life. Even Patrick Mahomes don't have a clean pocket. Like the reason why the Chiefs are 2-3 right now is because he doesn't have a clean pocket. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
And they don't have a defense.
Yeah.
And they don't have a defense. So there's been passes that Sam Darnold threw in a NFL clean pocket that he should have hit.
So then listen, let me shift the conversation to that, and I'll jump to Nick here. Like, what are we feeling about Sam Darnold at this point? Is it just too small of a sample size behind the offensive line that is too bad to get an accurate depiction of who he is? Or what are we looking at with Sam Darnold through 5 games of the season?
Well, so my thing is coming into this season, okay, I knew that we were going to have him behind a trash O-line. And an O-line that isn't any better than what he had with the Jets. And I've said since day one that is the biggest disservice that we've done to him, because we need this guy to come in and play. And if he was seeing ghosts in New York, how is coming down here with the trash O-line going to make things any different? So my main focus on this year was just improving him in general as a quarterback. Get him to be a little bit more accurate, get him to open up the field a little bit more than what he's used to, get him to improve. I didn't care about necessarily how the team did in the long run as far as wins, losses, that sort of deal. What I really cared about is Sam developing. So that way next year we could focus on putting an O-line in front of him, and then we're all set. Our defense is already good. You know, we already have quite a few weapons on our offense, you know, so the only thing that's really missing on this team is an O-line, you know, so I haven't been too critical on Sam. If anything, I've been defending him just because I want to see what he'll do behind a solid O-line. But if we keep trotting him out there without addressing this O-line and making our star right tackle play right tackle, without putting our rookie left tackle at left tackle, if we can't do that, then, you know, what's the point of playing this season? You know, we can't even protect the guy.
But the thing is, we haven't been able to protect our quarterback since 2015. Like we had trouble protecting Cam. We've had trouble protecting people since Jordan Gross left. We haven't put a focus on the offensive line. That is a fact. So if we want to come out here and try to make comparisons about last year versus this year, we already know what the common denominator is. It's the offensive line. It's Joe Brady. And then you worry about how quarterback play is going to be. Like Teddy got a lot of heat because he couldn't close games, but nobody talked about the fact that he had a mediocre defense too. But now we have Sam Darnold. We're seeing him how he played well with McCaffrey, and he's won all his games with McCaffrey. He hasn't been able to win a game without him. And then you got the coach trying to cop pleas for the man, trying to blame this defense of why they're losing instead of blaming the problem in front of them.
That rubbed so many people.
And real quick,
man.
So
many people. Your defense your defense is out there fighting tooth and nail to stop this epic failure that is your offense, then your special teams just whiffs and gives it right away to them. And you want to criticize this defense the way you did?
I was so troubled by that. Like, and I'll be the first one to give Rhule a lot of heat, and some people think it's not warranted, and that's fine. But you guys can't defend that. Like, you cannot.
No.
You cannot defend that.
Now that we're a little bit into his second year, there is enough of a sample size for people to have legitimate criticisms of Matt Rhule. Mm-hmm. Like, we're no longer in that honeymoon phase of, oh, well, he's learning the NFL and blah. No, that's over with. Now,
but here's my problem, Cody.
Criticisms.
But here's my problem, Cody. Like, when folks was telling me that, it was maddening to me. And the reason why it was maddening to me, even if it's a valid point, it's still maddening because we're paying this man higher than a lot of NFL head coaches that's been in the league for a very long time. So he can't get that pass to me.
They paid him like it was an Urban Meyer, Dabo Swinney level coach.
Yeah, but the thing is,
kind of money the kind of money that they gave him. Hold that thought real quick. I want to welcome in my man, my brother, my friend. He's one of the kings of the cat calls. It's Mike. Man, I ain't even going to take his intro from him. Mike,
supremely tough.
What's up, brother? How you been, man?
What's good, boys? I'm good. How y'all doing?
Man, we're doing good, man. We're just trying to figure out what the hell these Panthers are doing, man. We really are. Dave, I'm going to let you finish what you were saying, and then we're going to jump around some more, but continue, please.
But now it's just, my thing is when you're paying a head coach close to like Belichick level of salary, like he makes more than Ron Rivera. It's proven. As much as y'all feel about Ron, he's been a proven coach in this league. Like he's making more than a lot of coaches. Like he's probably like top 5 when you talk salaries of head coaches. So I can't like give him that benefit of the doubt of, oh, he's new to the NFL. They're paying you all that money, bro. Like you got that long-term deal. They're paying you all this money. So you can't give him a pass. And especially on certain things like clock management. Because and how he comes out of the first half. Like things like that, you should improve. Yeah. My man, when they finally asked that man why you keep coming flat in the third quarter, that man said he didn't know.
Yeah, that's like, a bad answer,
you can't
dude.
do that right now.
That's such a bad.
It's your job to figure that out.
Hey, dude, you don't have an inclination as to what it might be. It's almost like you're the head coach. Like that's what they pay you to know, man. It really is frustrating, man. I've even been saying on our Tuesday show that he's starting to really frustrate me with a lot of things.
You have played 5 third quarters in this season, and you've only scored in that third quarter once.
And let me tell you something.
Once.
Let me tell you something. If I was the head coach and I saw that shit happening after week 3, I'd be telling my players, you're staying out on that field, okay? And you aren't going inside until you can start performing in the third quarter the way that you do in the first and the second quarter. That is ridiculous.
To me, it's not even. It's not. But on top of that, Nick, it's not even just their level of play. To me, if you see a problem that consistently rears its head with the football team, that problem might be the coaching itself. Mm-hmm. And we have to start really looking at that for Joe Brady and Phil Snow, who I think that
absolutely
all of us have been very complimentary.
We're taking Philip out of this.
I'm not saying that he's done something. Listen, I'm not saying that he's done something in particular that is worthy of criticism. I'm just saying a lot of those, like that Dallas Cowboy game. I don't know if any of y'all watched Brett Coleman's video, his video that he did about the Panthers and their loss to the Cowboys. But we were in a 4-2 Tampa defense most of that game. Like they had a clear advantage on the offensive line against our defense, and it all came down to what Phil Snow was calling on the football field. Like now, the only point I'm making is there is now enough time, and we have seen enough film that there are real criticisms that we can put forth to all of our coach that are no longer unfair just because he's new to the NFL.
I'm gonna give Phil Snow a bone for the Dallas game, and the reason why I'm gonna give Phil Snow a bone for the Dallas game is a couple reasons. One, he lost J.C. Horn. Two, he just brought in C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson didn't know the defense yet.
He didn't play a lot either.
So they probably try to play a little bit safe, and that defense still played well in the first half. Like they held them to 13 points. Part of the reason why we gave up 20 because the offense couldn't do shit going to the third quarter, like we've done 405 games.
I was saying
we weren't playing New Orleans, Houston, or the Jets. We're playing Dallas, who had a high-powered offense that'll take advantage of that.
They were running stuff that he wasn't prepared for. He said they ran things that they didn't see on tape. So,
listen,
it's called good coaching.
So I want to just pose this before we move on from Philadelphia, and actually that perfect timing. Real quick, let me add in T Money. T Money, what's going on, bro?
What's up with y'all, boy?
Chilling, man. Glad you can join us. Real quick, is there anybody who wants to give their thoughts? So we're gonna wrap up Philadelphia. If there's anything that you want to say or mention or bring up specifically about that matchup or something that happened in that game, tell me now. This is when I want you to do it. I saw Nick raise his hand, so Nick, go first.
Real quick, okay? Matt Rhule's comments after the game. How do you think that makes Hassan Reddick feel? That man is on a 1-year deal. We all want him to come back next year. If I'm Hassan Reddick and I heard Matt Rhule say that, I'd be thinking twice about wanting to re-sign with this team.
Yeah,
just throwing it out there.
I'm going to agree to that. If you're Deshaun Jackson, you know you're having the best career or the best season of your NFL
You mean Dante
career.
Jackson?
That's right. Yeah,
you're you're right. I got
you.
I forgot about that. Him too.
Yeah, but you forced a fumble.
I have some stats.
You've got to pick, and you know for a fact, as bad as they need corners in the NFL, you hit free agency, you're gonna make a buku of money. And your head coach gets on national television and tells everybody you didn't do a good enough job. Your defense still didn't do a good enough job. That you have to carry offense and special teams. And yeah, we all love C-Mac, but he's one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL. And you got to carry him.
We're about to have a whole
You got to carry him.
We're about to.
Why would you re-sign with the Panthers?
Yeah.
Why would you re-sign with the Panthers?
Cody, before we get to the CMC discussion, I'm just going to say this. I told y'all not to pay that man. I told y'all we overpaid him.
I've been on your team, Dave. Dave, I've been on your team, Dave. I would never pay that kind of money to McCaffrey, and especially in spite of what we're going through now. So listen, we're already kind of talking about it. Is there anyone that wanted to mention something about Philadelphia?
I put Philadelphia in the trunk on Tuesday.
Okay, Supreme has already moved on. I love it. Kevin, what's up, bro?
I would say when Matt Rhule criticized the defense, I'm thinking maybe try to do like a Phil Jackson thing when Phil Jackson will blame Kobe, but not shit on like Ron Artest for doing something stupid. You know what I mean? Like, Kobe can take it. Ron, not so much, you know.
All right, man. So look, let's just
Tree Fitty, we better hope that he does. We better hope that he does because we need Hassan Reddick to come back. And if Rhule doesn't take care of things with Reddick, Hassan Reddick's gone.
Nah,
you know, and as it is, we're already going to have to choose which pieces we're keeping on this defense.
Look,
we got to figure out how we can afford him anyway.
Exactly. I don't think we can afford him anyway.
This next conversation that we're about to have is going to play into this, man, because let's just do it. Let's get real spicy on the Friday free-for-all, y'all, because we need to talk about Christian McCaffrey is inactive against Minnesota. And Joe Person put out a tweet, and I'll share it with you right now. After Sunday, Christian McCaffrey will have missed 16 of the 22 games the Panthers have played since Matt Rhule arrived. And I'm here to tell you that is not a very good thing. And I've been trying to have a very honest discussion on this podcast about whether or not Christian McCaffrey is injury prone. And a lot of fans of Christian McCaffrey don't want to come to that realization that, it's just been a bunch of different injuries. They're kind of isolated incidents. Well, okay, y'all. He continues to miss time for the Panthers, and we're paying him a ton of money to miss time. And then our offense looks so terrible without him that Matt Rhule even said it in his press conference that he was like, yeah, at sometimes we kind of had to learn that the hard way that we were too dependent on Christian. So, guys, let's have this conversation.
Right.
And I'll put it like this. What should we do about Christian McCaffrey? And Drew, he wanted to have this discussion. He told me beforehand. So I'm going to pass it to you, brother. The mic's all yours, man. What you got to tell the people?
People going to hate this, but it's time to trade Christian McCaffrey. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off and trade him.
Oh, here we go, y'all.
Everybody, I knew it is coming. I'm telling you. Guys, it's time to trade Christian McCaffrey. If the man is not available, what good is he to this football team? He is only good when he is on the field. He's missed 16 out of the 22 games that Rhule is coach. He is the highest paid running back in the NFL. And this offense is entirely too damn dependent on Christian McCaffrey. If he's not there, we fall apart.
The season?
So let's keep this a buck here. Let's think about
This
what
ain't
happened.
Madden, man.
Exactly.
Let's think about what happened last year, right? Because last year, McCaffrey was there the first couple games. We didn't win a game. He left. They figured out how to work. Like Teddy, as much as y'all want to give him heat for not closing out these games, Teddy figured out a way to make it work without him. He had He had four players that had 1,000 all-purpose yards
For 2 quarters or 3 quarters a game.
Huh?
For 2 quarters or 3 quarters a game. To not act like Teddy offense didn't shut down to same way Sam Darnold's offense. It's a Joe Brady problem.
We know it's a Brady problem, but my point is now we brought in a different quarterback, and this quarterback has been ultra dependent on CMC. Ultra dependent on CMC. He checks down to him all the time, but it's just like the offense from last year. But now when CMC is out of the picture, what happens? We see more turnovers. We see more mistakes. We see old Sam instead of new Sam. So, and that's why, like, I'm very fascinated to see how he plays against Minnesota this week. We're gonna
problem.
You're just making the point for Christian McCaffrey to be on the team still.
But last year,
what do you mean by that, Kevin?
Well, you're saying he makes all these mistakes without him.
But that just means that's Sam, dude. Like that's on Sam. Yeah. That's on Sam and the offense coordinator. That ain't on Christian. Because we saw what happened with Christian last year. We didn't win a single game. He was on the road.
They sat him out most of it last year because they didn't want to play.
But the 3 games that he played, we lost.
First of all, this
we haven't been winning with him on the roster. And if you ask most general managers, you never build your entire offense around a running back. And by the way, I just want to let y'all know this applies to Derrick Henry. It applies to Alvin Kamara. It applies to Dalvin Cook. You really shouldn't be that dependent upon a running back.
You have to.
Right. And but the thing is, think about what you just said. Think about what you just said.
You have to.
No, yeah, but who's won a chip with that? Look at the last set of Super Bowl champions and ask yourself how much they're paying their running backs. Look at them. Look at them all. Look at Tampa Bay. Look at Kansas City.
Peanuts.
They're not even top 10.
Kansas City won a Super Bowl before they was paying anybody, though.
But no, Kansas City.
What he's saying is, look at the running backs that have won Super Bowls in the last 10 years. None of them were in the top 10 of being paid running backs.
Receiving.
Y'all can't have it both ways when y'all on.
I want to give up 1,000 yards receiving.
Y'all can't have it both ways when y'all on his nuts. When y'all on his nuts, he's the best all-purpose back. He can do everything. He's the best running back / receiver in the league. He's technically so good that if he wanted to, he could just play slot receiver and not even play running back at all. That's
he
what
should.
When y'all on his.
He is that good. He is that good.
He should.
Real quick, let me add another guest to it. Bad. What's going on, Bad? He is that good. He is that good.
So first and foremost,
let me add. Wait, hold on. Bad. You might need to mute your microphone so that way there's
you gotta close it out on YouTube.
Yeah, you might need to close out your YouTube or put in your earbuds so that way there's no feedback noise. Dude, whenever I hear myself, whenever I hear myself on YouTube, I'm like, ugh, that's what I sound like.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good, brother. Go ahead, man.
The reality of the matter is Christian McCaffrey's contract makes it impossible to trade him to begin with. Period.
That's the point.
You're going to incur so
like
much dead money.
Rashad would
not
go
even
with the cap numbers. It'll be bad.
We've still got
You can't
Teddy
trade him for
Bridgewater on
nothing.
the books. We've still got, we're on the hook for Sam Darnold next year. They're not going to want to incur more debt by trading Christian McCaffrey. I mean, if anything, they're probably shutting him down just purely to keep him on the shelf for next year. I mean, that's speculation, but I mean, if
It's
they are
too early to be doing
that, line is dog shit.
Not for next year,
right?
They would have IR'd him if that was the case, man. So,
I agree. I mean, I think that it's really I don't know if they're doing it for gamesmanship. Quite frankly, I don't understand a fucking thing that coach does. I really don't.
No, it pretty much was. The thing that they could have did from the beginning was put him on IR for 3 games, and then we wouldn't be expecting looking every week. Oh, is he coming back? Is he coming back? Is he coming back? You would just know he was out for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I think that
you really believe in the miraculous healing power of CMC, and he's gonna make himself go before he's really ready to go. That's what that was.
Well, here's my thing, and I said this a few months ago. I said this during the last season about CMC and his injuries. I said, look, man, the injuries are different when you got paid. When you get paid, the injuries are different. The injuries are just different. Like you're not like when you haven't gotten your deal, you're gonna play through more than what you are once you got your deal. When you're not the highest paid running back in the NFL, you'll play through more. When you are the highest paid running back in the NFL,
not just being the highest paid, but he's got the most guaranteed money, and that's the thing. That's the thing that makes him untradeable. So, I mean, we really need to stop having the discussion.
We gotta
pay it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
having these fantasy football Madden trades in our heads, like if we see he's hurt and he's missed, what was the stat? The last 16 out of the last 22 games. You think the rest of the league don't see that? So that whole when people be like, oh well, we could trade CMC and get 2-3 starting offensive line.
Well, hold on there. Hold on there.
You might as well just giving up on the season too.
Listen, to jump on top of what Kevin was saying. We're excited about Christian McCaffrey coming back. Like, I don't want to make it seem like me or Drew or David, like anyone just wants to get rid of him. We all, I mean, at least I think we would all agree that, especially now, we're a much better football team with Christian McCaffrey on the field than when he's not on the field. No one is denying that. I just think what we're talking about, we're paying one of the richest running back contracts in the NFL right now for a player who continues to not see the field. And yes, availability is the best ability.
But if he is not seeing the field, if you even decide to trade him, are you going to get the best value you can get? No. You're going to have to lowball sell him. Pretty much, if you want to trade CMC right now while he keeps getting hurt back to back to back, you're going to look like Philly with Ben Simmons, where you just talk about trading him for months and months and months, but you couldn't get what you wanted, so then you just keep him.
You're gonna look like the Bills.
The problem is too, the problem is too, is like he said about the cap. All that guaranteed money still going to have to get paid by us, and we're going to have to pay, and it gets accelerated when you trade them.
So right. The biggest problem
it's not an easy thing to do.
So then are we just stuck? So then, if Christian is or isn't injury prone, we're pretty much, it just is what it is at this point.
It's early in the deal. We can't move him yet. We can't move him yet. It's gonna be
we can't move him till 2 years. Now we could do one of them, trade him on a June 1st some next year, not this coming June, but the year after that. But you're kind of stuck with him. That's why
good thing.
You need to get somebody who's going to be healthy enough healthy enough to play running back on a primary basis. And I know people don't want to hear this. Okay, then when he's got there and play like more than a rookie. But now he's playing like a rookie.
No, he had a good game last week.
He did, but his limitations are offensive line. Just like the passing game's limitation is offensive line. The quarterback's limitations is offensive line. So you get a stronger offensive line, it doesn't matter your scheme. It doesn't matter who's the offensive coordinator. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is or the running back. You could always scheme a bad offensive line so much before it slaps you in the face.
There's a lot of that, man. And it's like a lot of people said earlier that, we know that a lot of this is on Joe Brady. And Joe Brady is not above criticism. And I've criticized his play calling. I've criticized his play calling too. But my argument with Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater was the same no matter what, that you're never going to see the best of Joe Brady's play calling if whoever's playing quarterback doesn't even have a second of reliable pass protection. Like, it's just a recipe for disaster. I want to get some.
The offense is a 3-part problem that revolves in a cycle right now. Lack of trust in the offensive line, lack of trust in the quarterback, and then the dependency on CMC. Because when you have CMC, you don't have to make but so many reads in your 3-4 seconds. It's DJ, CMC, because it ain't a linebacker, free safety alive that can guard CMC one-on-one. So why would I keep going through my progressions if I know I can throw this 3-yard pass to CMC and he get 10, 13, 15 every time?
Yep. And the defense knows that. So if a defense has to guard C-Mac, if he's out on the field, they may change their defense on how they approach 100%. Carolina if they know Christian McCaffrey's playing. They know they're going to have DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey on that field at the same time. They're going to step back and say, wait a minute. Now, if they know they don't have C-Mac there, then it's fair game.
So I want to get Supreme Leader. I want to get Mike in on this conversation, man. What are you thinking about Christian McCaffrey? I mean, are we overblowing this? We have a bunch of dead money that we're going to have to incur, but what are you feeling about Christian? And I think maybe I need to add on to this. Like, do the Panthers have any offensive chances if Christian McCaffrey isn't on the field, especially against Minnesota, who does have a plethora of good weapons to move the ball around too?
I mean, we got a chance. I mean, like you said, it is what it is. And what concerns me is he practiced Wednesday. He didn't practice Thursday and Friday. So it seems like this hamstringy thing is going to linger on a little bit more than
which is what a hamstring does, which is why off the rip, they should have just put him on IR for 3 weeks, and then we wouldn't be playing this game of fooling ourselves every week.
My man worked out too much.
And we would have an extra roster spot.
I said before the season we should have traded Robbie Anderson. And
y'all ready to talk about it?
No.
Y'all ready to talk about it?
I don't understand how y'all say that. I don't understand how y'all say that either.
That's it. One good catch.
Honestly, I think
I'll tell you why we can say that. We can say that because the dude hasn't been performing this year, and then he gets all butthurt whenever a defender figures out his routes.
He's been open a lot.
Problem. That's not
open a lot.
That's the problem. He's getting open. There's just no time to actually deliver the ball.
Yeah, he's been open a whole bunch. Yeah. If you calculate all the times he was overthrown or not throw to, we would have won several of these games we lost.
But guys, my opinion about Robbie Anderson is that he plays a cursed position for the Panthers, and that he is a deep threat receiver. And everything that I'm about to say for Robbie Anderson also applied to Curtis Samuel. The offensive line was never going to give the quarterback enough time to build a reliable connection with Robbie Anderson downfield. Now, that isn't to say that those throws still can't be made or that Sam hasn't missed some of them, but so much of that quarterback receiver position is being on rhythm and being, on the same page at the same time, knowing that you can get the ball downfield. And there just isn't much of that for Robbie Anderson.
And that's what I was saying about Sam in the offseason is that when you're going the game manager route of him or Jimmy G in San Francisco or any kind of mid-level quarterback like that, Jared Goff, not that you're going to be able to hit the downfield pass consistently all game. It's just when you have those 3 to 5 shots a game, you have to hit on a couple of them. You can't miss on all of them. And, I mean, you can't get mad at Robbie and the whole trade. Robbie, we loved them in the preseason. What has Terrence Marshall showed in the regular season at all that should be the number 2 receiver on this team? We love shots.
He's still getting – so here's my problem.
Here's my thing, man.
We love Shaw Smith in the preseason. He can't even get a jersey now.
No.
We'll go to Dave. We'll go to Dave. We'll go to Dave, and then we'll go to Bad after Dave.
Here's my thing with Robbie. My thing about paying Robbie was this. Paying Robbie puts a lot of other things at risk. You like the fact that we traded for Gilmore? We got to pay him. You like the fact that you want to fix your offensive line? Well, we're gonna have to pay somebody because we can't just do it through the draft.
You like
the fact DJ Moore has a year left on his deal. We need to extend him. Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick. We got to pay these guys.
Big time positions too.
And so
that's not Robbie's problem. The biggest part of the problem.
No. I didn't say it was Robbie's problem.
But the biggest part of the problem that messed up the contract period is you paid CFC 2 years too early before you had to. That messed up everybody else behind him.
But that's a different discussion. You can say the same thing about paying Shaq because before this year, you weren't happy with Shaq either.
Yeah, both of them were paid too early.
Yeah, my point is that we're out here. We pay Robbie Anderson. And we're putting a lot of other things at risk. Because the first thing I thought when we gave Robbie Anderson was that contract was, damn, they're actually are fine with letting DJ Moore walk when his contract's up.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm like, that's what I thought. Because I'm like, yo, you can't pay him that much money and then expect DJ to not ask for more.
But Dave, you know why it was stupid to me? Look how many good receivers come in the draft every year. Wide receivers are coming into the NFL more prepared than they ever have been before, man. You can find
Terrence Marshall ain't showing me that.
Zylstra's been better than Robbie Anderson.
All right, but hold on, T-Money. Justin Jefferson last year was the second-round pick, and that guy had a record-breaking rookie season. The only point that I'm trying to make here is that when you have all these other defensive players and other players at positions that typically get paid very high contracts, why are you sinking money into a receiver position when that position by its nature is so replaceable?
This is what kills me about our fan base, though. Why do we act surprised about stuff we already knew coming in? When we signed Robbie, we knew two things. What? We knew what two things when we signed him? We knew he was a Temple Matt Rhule boy looking for another shot.
Yeah,
and we knew he was looking for a big contract if he had a good year. So you can't bring him in with those two we already know and then act surprised that, oh, we paid him. He's a Matt Rhule boy who was looking for a big contract. Same thing with Hassan. Hassan is a Temple boy who loves Phil Snow's system and is looking for a long-term deal. You can't act surprised about stuff we already knew.
I want to add something real quick. I know people keep saying, well, next year the cap's going up. We'll have more money. Let's understand something. Robbie Anderson this year makes about a little over, he makes about $8.5 million, a little over $8.5 million. Next year, he's going to a little over $16.5 million. Shaq Thompson gets, this year he's making $8 million. Next year, he goes up to $18 million.
They're gonna push the money back like they did this year.
And I mean, now Shaq Thompson is cuttable after next year, like 2023. But Robbie Anderson, I mean, some of these contracts jump up. Now, Christian McCaffrey, he ain't been making about $6 million this year, but next year it's going up.
They're gonna keep restructuring deals. You can get around the salary cap if you want to get around the salary cap, and the best
we only have
and the best team that shows that is in our division. In New Orleans, every year we do New Orleans is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million over the cap, and they still sign what they want, and they still figure it out.
Well, last year was Drew Brees. Drew Brees was the biggest issue with their cap coming into this season, and he retired.
And Drew Brees restructured every year. If you pay, I mean, if you looked at the numbers anyway.
Well, restructured. They just converted
into signing
base salary to bonus.
Yeah,
I mean, they got the same amount of money.
The office does voodoo, man. I'm telling you, they've been doing voodoo for years. They figured out some kind of black magic to always get out of the salary cap hell.
That's what I'm saying. I stopped paying that every offseason. They do it every offseason. They keep who they want out of their core, and they sign whatever free agents they want to sign. So I've been stopped saying that every offseason about New Orleans.
Hey, so real quick before we go any further, man, CK is not here to give me that nice voice that he has, but there's 105 people watching, man. Hit the thumbs up. We definitely appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for every single time the C3 podcast goes live and brings you content like this, man. That's what we're here to do. We talk about Panthers football.
Shame.
And yeah, man, tell them subscribers shame. And yeah, man, we're trying to continue to do big things over here at C3. I thank you all for joining me today, because sitting here and hanging out with y'all is much more fun than watching this abysmal Clemson Tiger offense. I'm about to shut this shit off, man. It's embarrassing, dude.
You see Ross when he faked the injury when he dropped that pass?
Oh, dude, he dropped the pass, and then it was like he broke his ankle in the same. Dude, it's a fucking problem.
Right, you know, honestly, I would take watching even a shitty Clemson team over watching any of the Pac-12 bullshit that I have to endure every single year. So just count your blessings, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, and then DJ just overthrew Raw. It's bad. Anyway, man, let's continue on this Panther. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, all right, let's just get you may wanted to talk about this later. What's that dude that I saw on Twitter throw at 80-yard bomb?
Oh, Matt Corral.
Yeah, I like that.
You have to give me. We'll talk about him. I got to take a minute to find the video.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, okay, but no. As a matter of fact, let's do this then. Let's shift that the conversation to Sam Darnold. And I just want anyone to jump in on this. I'll actually go first to tell you where I'm at with Sam. I think that Sam Darnold has the potential still to be a good quarterback, meaning the type of quarterback that when you put a good team around him, and then when you give him some chances with offensive line and receiver help, yeah, that guy can be a good quarterback. I can see him one day under the right circumstances, maybe being on the level of like a Kirk Cousins or a Matt Ryan, a quarterback that can really win you some football games. However, if we're going to have this conversation about whether or not Sam Darnold is an elite level franchise quarterback, I'm telling you, I haven't seen that from him yet. And frankly, I don't know that he's in the right situation to even have that kind of performance this year.
Very few teams have those.
Well, and so it kind of goes back to, I don't know if you guys listen to the Roar podcast that John Ellis does or not, but one of the constant themes that he brings up, and I've subscribed to it for years, is your quarterback should elevate the play of the people around you, not be elevated by the play of the people around you. Yes. And that's a major issue. I mean, you know, he force feed. One thing we know at this point is he's going to force feed DJ, right? That's about the only person that's his first read. That's where he's going with the ball. If we know it, every other team knows it. And they know that all they have to do is get a little bit of interior pressure on him, and he's going to do what he does, right?
A little, though.
Have we seen? I haven't seen anything that makes me think that he is about to turn the corner or will turn the corner in the near future. I mean, and to be quite frank, after 4 years of being in the NFL, I think you are who you are. You know, I mean, development is hard. I mean, that's part of the reason why I don't understand why, you know, Deontay Brown and Brady Christensen aren't seeing the field, because you're basically playing a bunch of washed up vets who are just not that good. I mean, you're at least with developmental talent who are in their rookie years, you can kind of start to groom them. But
and the excuses for
he is who he is at this point.
Deontay Brown can't get on the field because he's getting hurt in practice.
Yeah, well, so I don't know if y'all heard about that today. He was, I think they said it was a non-contact leg injury. I think it was calf. I think to Deontay Brown, and he was carted. Yeah, he was carted off the field.
But you know, I'm talking about Sam Darnold. He looks like a 23-year-old quarterback because he is
a 23-year-old quarterback.
Exactly. That's what he looks like.
First year in the offense, too.
You know who else is like a 23-year-old quarterback?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's like a 23-year-old quarterback.
Ooh. He got a good offensive line.
Don't get me started on Justin, bro. Don't get me started on Justin, bro.
Justin Herbert looks like a 20.
We could have fixed our entire offensive line in that one draft.
You got Cody pushing now.
Oh, dude. Listen, man, that was my draft crush.
Cody, no, I will say it all the time. I was wrong about Justin.
I hated Justin Herbert just because
that was my guy. Man, he's a 4.0.
Look on the bright side. At least we're not Miami. And we had a chance to take Justin, and we took Tua.
But I mean, are we?
I hated Tua. I didn't like Tua at all coming.
Miami has a good
Miami,
defense,
bro.
Miami has a good defense and no quarterback.
Not this year.
They don't have shit.
Not this year.
Yeah,
that's
this year.
Their defense is kind of
horrible.
But historically, I mean, that's who they were last year. I mean,
they ain't this year. I don't know what they are.
Nah, but they secondary always going to be straight though.
Are we ready for this conversation? Are we ready for this conversation?
No, I gotta make my thing.
Go ahead.
So my thing with Sam is, when we brought in Sam, I always said he was going to be game manager Sam. I thought that Sam Darnold's job was to be the game manager. I thought our defense was going to be better, and the defense was going to do their job and keep us in these games. And Sam was just going to manage the game, not turn the ball over, and we'll win some football games. And the first 3 games, that's exactly what it looked like. The first 3 games was exactly what I expected out of Sam Darnold. Yeah. And then CMC gets hurt. And I gave him credit for closing out the game against Houston after the CMC injury. And then the 4th game happened, and we came out there lackluster. Sam didn't do anything coming out of the half. Started having turnovers.
Sam, why are we saying Sam? Why not saying Joe Brady?
Because it's not Joe Brady.
Joe Brady isn't throwing the football.
But it's been a Joe Brady thing for 2 years.
No, but
don't get me wrong. Joe Brady hasn't performed.
If Joe Brady, no, here's the thing. If you're gonna tell me that Joe Brady threw them interceptions, fine, but I can't do that.
Well, and
interceptions.
To interject for
Bobby Anderson would tell you that because he would say they obviously keep sitting on the same route, so why you not running different routes? That was his whole complaint.
2 of those picks, 4 out of those 6 picks, 4 out of those 5 picks came from passes to DJ Moore.
Well, and he wasn't.
No, I'm saying from a concept, you have the whole point of setting up different receiver routes is to set up later plays for later in the game. So if I keep running a comeback and it works 3-4 times in the first half, that doesn't mean run 10 more comeback routes. That means we're setting up the comeback route to eventually run a double move.
To be fair, though, if you watch the All-22, he was running different routes. That's completely false. I mean, he wasn't running the same fucking route.
Yeah, he was.
So what? So okay, what are we feeling about the Robbie Anderson blow up on that sideline? Is there some? He was really.
I guess from what we just heard, Robbie just making it up. It don't exist.
I don't blame him.
No. Well,
I mean,
during the Panthers town hall, talked about it was about the he was yelling at the passing game coordinator. So like he was like going at him because they weren't changing the routes. And Matt Rhule said there was an issue, and Matt Rhule pretty much said what Robbie said.
Yeah.
So I mean, Matt Rhule
also threw the defense under the bus this game. So I don't believe a single word.
Robbie wanted to run some, I think it was some double move plays or something, and they didn't run them, and they didn't run them, and that's what Robbie was upset about. He figured that if they run them, he could have scored a touchdown, but they didn't want to run them, and it was the passing game coordinator that called that.
Yeah, well, the cornerback
because with his speed, if the corner sits on his route and he keeps going, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, I was just saying that the cornerback from Philadelphia even said it in his presser. He said that Robbie was running the same route, so he knew that when he was in that particular formation, what route he was running. So he just sat on it and waited for Sam to throw the ball.
Steven Nelson is the cornerback.
Hey, I wanted to bring this up. I got everybody here. I don't want to completely turn the discussion away from what we're talking about, but I want to preface what I'm about to say with this. J.C. Horn is an incredible football player. We all think J.C. Horn is going to be an incredible football player.
Think we made a mistake?
But if we're going to talk about what the Panthers should have done, how about this, y'all? Rashawn Slater might be the best left tackle in football. Not the best rookie left tackle, not the best young left tackle, the best left tackle in football. Yo, he's shut down. He's shut down Myles Garrett. He's shut down Chase Young.
I have a question.
Bro,
I have a question. Cody, I have a very important question, and I need you guys to hear this question because I need a clear understanding to make sure you guys can answer this question. Can Rashawn Slater play 3 positions at the same damn time?
No, but Dave, it doesn't matter. Dave, the Panthers. I'm not saying that our offensive line would be 100% better, Dave.
No,
but we all know the Panthers have not had a left tackle worth a damn since Jordan Rose. And you're going to tell me that this offensive line wouldn't be better?
And our biggest problem last week was still interior offensive line.
Do you trust Matt Rhule to play him at left tackle?
If he's a first-round pick, yeah, damn sure assume that he's going to be playing.
Brown started his rookie year, didn't he?
So
a lot of our young players under him ended up starting. Listen, again, I love J.C. Horn,
but there's a difference.
I don't think the way we did free agency, there was no way in hell, even if we would have.
I agree, but I want to get to the bigger point that I'm trying to make here, and the same reason. And again, I can't outright confirm this, but based on what Joe Person said to us when we interviewed him on the C3 Beat Check, he said to us that they are very specific about measurement requirements from position to position. So Scott Fitterer had that same ideology when it came to cornerbacks when they were up there building the Legion of Boom. Brady Christensen will not play left tackle for the Carolina Panthers because they believe his arms are too short. It's the dumbest shit in the world, and I'm here to tell you that the Panthers passed on Rashawn Slater, again, potentially the best left tackle in football right now, a major position of need, because his arms were too short. It's the dumbest shit in the world.
That's what y'all keep talking about, but the one that irks me a little bit more is from the looks of it, the TMJ over Humphrey selection. Is the one that
Hey, all you Justin Fields truthers, you ready for this?
Ooh.
You ready for this one?
Oh boy.
Another thing that came from the town hall. Sheena pretty much said that in a nutshell that they talked to Scott Fitterer. They made a decision to trade for Sam Darnold after the Ohio State Pro Day with Justin Fields.
Right, I heard
they saw something.
Ooh, really?
They saw
yeah,
something.
I heard that too.
I guess they didn't want.
I can believe it.
And dude, if Sam Darnold, how about if Sam Darnold?
No, but she also said the flip side of that could have been they were so impressed by his pro day that they didn't think it was no way he was going that late in the draft either.
But still,
that's a good point. No, that's actually a good point, Timon. I didn't think about that.
If you don't think he's going to be there and he's there, you take him. I mean, that's not even a discussion. Right,
100%.
I mean, yeah, but at that, you got to realize what point we were at whenever it came time for the draft. We already had Sam, and we were already paying on Teddy. So what are you going to do? Still pay on Teddy? Still have Sam? Still have the 2 backups that we had at that point and draft Fields?
What this really comes down to, I think,
but Russell Wilson,
we should be asking ourselves is, do we trust Matt Rhule at all? Right.
Well, I've already been asking y'all that.
Because I don't, right? I think the Teddy Bridgewater decision was a bad decision, and he wanted a real call, right?
I thought
extending Christian McCaffrey was a bad decision. Whether or not that was Hurney or him, he still had a hand in it. He's at the end of the day, he has a whole lot of say, just like Pete Carroll does in Seattle, as to who gets paid and who doesn't, and who's on the roster and who isn't, and who they draft and who they don't.
Go ahead.
And the reality of the matter is, the reason we don't have an offensive line and didn't prioritize it is 100% because of Matt Rhule. And then you talk about his questionable game management. You talk about the personnel decisions he's made. I mean, I understand we're 2 years into a 3-year process, but I mean, after 21 games now. We have to ask the question, is this team well coached? And I can't say that it is. I don't think it is, at all.
Hey, shout out real quick. Hold on, real quick. 89 J Subs with the 199 says Slater, Creed, Trey Smith. What could have been? Yeah, it's official.
That's what I said the other day.
It's official. The offensive line is where the Panthers and their front office specifically
Cody,
whiffed major this
but
year.
I'm a South Carolina fan. We made a mistake. We should have got Slater.
Oh, okay. That's
But
coming from a South Carolina fan. Go ahead.
We got
This is what that hindsight 2020 makes people forget.
But
let's say that now. It's easy to say that now because we got corners on corners on corners on corners on corners. But do you remember how we were thinking about the quarterback position before the draft? Nobody was as sure of Dante as everybody is now because Dante was playing
in that draft.
Right. Again, but listen, we have to be able to have these conversations fairly and say, listen, that our criticism is not of J.C. Horn.
No.
If anything, J.C. Horn, we're just realizing, even though it was only 3 games, we're having to realize the hard way what J.C. Horn meant to the Panthers' backfield, man. They already knew not to throw the ball at J.C. Horn. He's a shutdown corner.
It's also
what I'm saying is before, say if we didn't take J.C. and we took Slater before the draft, we were all not as sure of Dante as we are right now, right?
Yeah.
Is that safe to say?
True.
And who would have been our number 2 corner before the draft?
Who would have been who was it?
Before you mean in free agency or you mean in the draft?
It was Rashawn.
I'm saying before the draft, after free agency. So that means you have to take Henderson off, you have to take Gilmore off, you have to take Keith Taylor off. We didn't have him. So who was the number 2?
It would have been Boye.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Boye was listed as number 2.
Yeah.
So
we had a bunch of different holes to fill,
and that's Boye with a suspension.
And a lot of people were calculating that Pride was going to give an opportunity to play nickel, but we knew we needed a corner either way, regardless of what round you got him in.
So
not just remember AJ was suspended. AJ was suspended for the first 2 games, so that meant Troy Pride was going to be your starting cornerback for the first 2 games.
We definitely need a corner in that draft. I'm not saying that.
But one little move like that might have changed the entire directory of the draft.
It's like
because if J.C. Horn was sitting there, what does Denver take? Do they take their corner? Yeah. Dallas wanted a corner originally. They liked the linebacker, but that wasn't their top need. So Dallas would have never traded back. Would have never traded a pick to the Bears, so the Bears wouldn't have got Fields.
So just to play devil's advocate, imagine a scenario where we had a competent GM last year who didn't extend Christian McCaffrey, traded him when he tried to hold out to a team that was stupid enough to pay him, and we walked into this draft with 2 first-rounders. You could have gotten Rashawn Slater and J.C. Horn.
I think Tepper had more involved in that.
What in Christian McCaffrey's personality has ever showed that he was going to hold out, though?
But that was the rumor.
But there were rumors. They were never substantiated. But
when it comes to money, he's all about
it. And listen, this is my
master. Came off of a hurt year.
It was all just thoughts. But what I was thinking about doing was taking Isaiah Simmons with our 8th pick that we had, and then trading McCaffrey to the Broncos because they already had that Denver connection, and then getting Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina. That was the plan that I had in my head. But
that wouldn't have been a good.
What does he do for the Niners? I don't never hear Javon Kinlaw's name.
Yeah.
Apparently he's
that's because he doesn't fuck up.
Too. Yeah, I mean, I haven't followed
you would trade an all-star running back for a defensive tackle?
I had that same idea though.
Kevin, they playing mad like we trading Christian McCaffrey and getting 3 starting offensive linemen tomorrow. It's mad.
But listen, again, and this goes back to something that Dave said about not even playing the guys that we have on the roster. I mean, listen, but another frustration that I have with Fitterer and Matt Rhule, it comes down to this philosophy thing that I'm talking about. oh, we're not going to play a guy at left tackle if his arms are too short, or we're going to go with the veteran guys because we don't trust the rookies yet. Another one is if you felt like a franchise quarterback fell to you in the draft, why are you thinking that you should pass on him if you're not 100% sure what you have in Sam Darnold?
Because you already have too much money in the quarterback position.
Because you got an idiot making decisions.
But listen, okay, honestly, did that trade really preclude us from taking a quarterback?
Yes,
I mean, it would have looked a
If you listen to David told us months that it did.
If we would have took a left tackle in the draft, we probably would have traded for a corner.
Is that not what you were repeatedly saying before the draft? That once we traded for Sam Darnold, that killed any chance of taking a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, I thought so. I myself thought so.
Like once we traded for Darnold, I said there's no way we're going to take Fields.
Yeah.
But then I said the only lineman they probably were interested in was Sewell. So the only one I felt like Sewell would be the pick if he's sitting there at 8, but nobody else.
Yeah.
Well, and Sewell had small arms too. He's got short arms too.
So but the funny thing is, if you go back and look at the Panthers Confidential and they go down the list of like the players and what they were going in,
Fields is on that list.
Fields was low as shit on that list. There was a lot of other people.
Why? That's
Cody.
so stupid to me, dude. That was the number 2 ranked player on my entire big board.
Cody.
In the entire draft, I had Justin Fields number 2. I know my team sucks.
But the
dude.
moment we traded for Darnold, the moment that happened, that ends that. So people were like, "Oh, we'll still take Fields at 8, even though we just traded for Darnold." And I'm like, "No, the hell we're not.
No, we won't.
If they were smart, they would put pieces around the man."
You have to remember how draft boards work. Draft boards for an NFL team is not just, oh, this is the best player, this is the second best player. It's team needs and positional and all that goes into a team making their draft board.
I was going to say.
So again, because you had so much invested in the quarterback position already, that dropped Fields automatically on their board.
What were you saying, Kevin?
I was going to say, you said the stupidest thing you heard was someone talking about short arms, why he wouldn't be a good left tackle. I remember when Andy Dalton was coming in the draft, and somebody said they wouldn't draft him because he had red hair. And red hair don't do well.
Well, to be fair, gingers don't have.
They weren't necessarily wrong with him.
Never forget. There's a lot of NFL teams that pass on Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Ravens did
31.
Bill Polian, who was a Hall of Fame GM, said he was a running back. And swore by that on ESPN.
Isn't he like 5th in passing yards right now?
He is.
Dude, right now Lamar Jackson has more total yards than like 10 other football teams. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
More than that. If Lamar was his own team, I think when I looked at it, he would be 15 in total offense.
Who's this receiver now?
Marquise Brown is number 1. They got Sammy Watkins.
But Marquise Brown just came back, right?
He was
hurt.
Watkins hurt already.
Yeah, Watkins hurt already.
But so was Marquise Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Mark Andrews, the tight end.
Brown was hurt, right?
No, Brown played last. Brown got the game with a touchdown.
Who's the rookie that came back?
Rashad Bateman. Bateman's
that's right. Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman.
He hasn't played. Miles Bush hasn't played. And Sammy Watkins was hurt last game.
Hey, shout out Quick Side Idiot T, man. He said trade Dante for a center. But what center? What
can we start in Madden?
Hold on. That is where I can agree with T Money and say that's when they're kind of getting a little bit Madden, because if you have a good center, dude, you're not trading him, man.
We couldn't trade for
that's the problem. We can't get anybody because teams are going to trade their players. They're not trading their good linemen because they're hard to come by.
They're not
trading lose your own line.
So the only team
there may not be
reportedly willing to deal offensive linemen is the Kansas City Chiefs, and they want defensive help. So either you're losing either Dante or you might be losing Brian Burns. That's the reality.
Brian Burns ain't going anywhere, so that's
he's not a rule guy. He's not a rule guy, just like DJ is.
Most likely be Shaq Thompson.
So I mean,
if you're
they're going to want a rookie because they're not going to have to pay the money.
Well, then I would keep who I got. I wouldn't give up Brian Burns for no 30-year-old.
You would have to trade a defensive end with Mitchell for a backup offensive with
everybody.
You have to trade with YGM.
Hold up. Everybody in the show and in the chat room, let's get a little bit cryptic. Let's try and decipher what we think this means. Yetur Gross-Matos goes on Twitter and puts trust the process, prayer hands, and faith. Now, a lot of people, as you do on Twitter, are overreacting and looking at this. Like, oh, man, are we trade? Well, because what T-Money just said, if we're going to make a trade, they want a young defensive player that's going to be able to come help them out. A lot of people are theorizing that maybe Yetur Gross-Matos knows that there's a trade incoming. I mean, I don't know here. I'm just bringing stuff up.
I mean, that would be better than trading off Brian Burns or some other defensive player, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to lose somebody.
But the thing is, you guys got to understand something.
This is not.
Wait, no, T-Money, let me go, man.
You trade Brian Burns right down. What Chiefs offensive lineman do you think you're getting? You better be trading for Orlando.
Let them go. What you saying?
The thing is, man, if we were trying to trade YGM, right? If we're trying to trade him over to somewhere, what kind of offensive lineman do you honestly think we're going to get? Like, you think we're going to get somebody that's going to actually fix our problem? No, we're not going to get anybody that's going to fix our problem. If you want the type of people that we got to trade to fix our problems, we're not willing to give up. Yep. That's the reality of the fact. We're not willing to do it.
This ain't the NBA. You're not trading a star like Brian Burns in the middle of the season. And if you trade him to Kansas City, for example, what offensive line are you going to be expecting in return? If you're if you're trading Brian Burns, you could be getting Orlando Burns.
The name that everybody is saying in connection with Kansas City is Mitchell Schwartz.
No,
so that's the name. That's the name that I've been hearing. So
the dude is having back issues. No,
isn't he a free agent?
He is a free agent.
That's what I've been hearing on Twitter. Somebody asked him on Twitter.
Jeremy Fowler put an article out that started all this.
Yeah, about
but it's
the
under
Kansas City
ESPN
Chiefs.
Plus, and I don't have access to it, so I can't read it.
Again, if you're trading, if you're trading Byron Burns to Kansas City in the middle of the year, you better be getting Orlando Brown.
Yeah, Schwartz is.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
So they
gave up a first round pick to get Orlando Brown.
Exactly.
So they're not gonna give that man up this soon.
I know, but I'm just saying when people be talking unrealistic like that, again, Madden will let you do almost any trade if you work hard enough for 15 minutes.
Didn't yesterday for me. I tried.
This is why I don't play Madden, by the way.
But hey, man, Bad Eel had to go, man. Appreciate Bad for jumping in, joining the show. I mean, listen, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, man, I feel like
just put the young boys in the roster in the game.
Yeah, but it's like with these young players that we have, with Deontay Brown going down the way he did, I mean, now we're even starting to wonder, like, now that he's hurt, the chances of us playing him ever this season go down even further. On top of the fact Cameron Irving is back, and they have no problem sticking that man right back at left tackle.
And he's going to be there.
And the way that Deontay Brown got hurt, it just adds to their argument. Oh, you had a non-contact knee or calf? Oh, Deontay, it's because you're overweight. You need more time to lose weight, so you won't have this type of injuries.
Yeah, I hate this weight discussion. Hey, real quick, before we go any further, I wanted to add our friend One Carolina to the stream. One, what's up, brother?
What's happening?
What up,
hey,
Mike?
Man? There's that voice, man.
Man,
there's
listen,
that voice, bro.
When I tell you I had a corrupted hard drive, I know I've been off the scene for a minute, bro. I lost everything. When I say everything, I'm talking about everything, man. Dave, all that shit I did for y'all for the opening and all that, man, all of it's gone. Every bit of it.
Man, don't you hate that shit, dude? Yeah. Man, that's terrible, man.
Well, I ain't trying to be mean. But you should have lost Cameron Irvin while you was losing everything else.
Dan Delbrady.
Man, you know what, man? I'm here to defend my
Don't say
position
that.
on that,
You're
man.
gonna want his autograph. Stop that.
Man, look, I stand by.
He's talking so cocky to be so sorry.
Wait, all right, Warren, tell me what you think about this old line, man.
I think it's horrible, you know, and obviously I can't defend it, but I think the worst part about it is the interior. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously the continuity, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop gapping Taylor Moton on the left side. I mean, he was solid, you know what I'm saying? But all things considered. He was solid. All things considered.
he was good. He was
yes, he was.
You know,
solid for Carolina. Solid for Carolina or solid left tackle.
But T-Money,
he was the highest PFF grade
bro, hold on.
yesterday, and
he is every week. That don't mean he don't fuck up.
T-Money, what you're not understanding is
even
Taylor
the best
Moton had to go there when he hasn't been taking snaps at left tackle. They should have been doing this forever ago, man.
No, even Jordan Gross said, if you're going to do it, you need to do it before preseason, before training camp, and let him take the entire training camp and preseason at left tackle.
We've seen Taylor Moton enough times at left tackle. Taylor Moton.
Have we, though?
Yes.
Have we really seen him
this season and last season?
We've seen him 2 times start at left tackle. This past game, and
there's nothing about Taylor Moton's left tackle game that looks all pro to me.
Maybe with some time, how do you know if he had some time to actually learn that position? And
when he first came into the league, he didn't look like the quality of the offensive lineman. Period.
This Byron Bell all over again.
Byron Bell. It is not Byron Bell.
No, listen. Let me finish. Byron Bell's going to be better on the left side because he's left-handed. Like, fine. Just a good lineman don't mean you a left.
There it is, y'all. Kansas City's backup left tackle is Mike Rimmers. That's who we gonna trade for, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh hell! No man, don't even say that out loud.
I mean, we gonna smile and say, "Welcome home, brother."
I remember when
I got a question for y'all.
Win the Super Bowl, and then I saw who was starting the left tackle.
I did the same thing.
I made a mistake. There's no way they're gonna win the Super Bowl. The Bucs about to win this shit easily.
I got a question for y'all real quick, right?
Yeah, what's up, Warren?
Because, I think it was it T-Money that said that about my Cam Mervin take? You know, to be honest, man, yes, I do have a webcam, Cody. I'm just going Avatar, man, because it's dark in my room. But,
no, that's fine. No, I'm talking. I got another guy in the chat room, and I don't recognize his name, and he doesn't have a webcam.
Okay.
Exactly. And those are the ones, bro. If I don't know you, I'm not just throwing you up for everybody to see, man. Yeah, man. We got some real post-traumatic stress disorder.
Hey, but look,
on the finish your question, one.
But check this out. Let me ask you a question. Eric Fisher, left tackle for I guess he was the left tackle for or is now the Indianapolis Colts, but he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was drafted number 1 overall. Can anybody tell me the last one?
Orlando Pace.
Since him.
What's the dude from Michigan?
Where's the pin?
Jake Long?
No, I mean I'm talking about number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall. Last one was
nobody.
Right.
No. Yeah. The dude who was drafted, he was from Michigan when he drafted
Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown didn't go number 1 overall, did he?
It was
Orlando Pace from Ohio State.
Orlando Brown dropped because remember he fucked up his bench press weights reps.
Not Orlando Brown. No, Jonathan. No, Ogden didn't go that high either.
No.
What's number 1?
All right, so hold up.
It was Pace.
John, what's good?
What's good, Panthers family? What's good?
What up, man?
Hey man, what's good? I'm happy you. I'm happy you are who you say you are, man. Didn't you say it was Taylor Lewan?
Nah, that's what I said, but I could be wrong.
Taylor Lewan didn't go number 1 overall.
He didn't go number 1, but he did go high. He went like top 10.
Yeah, he went high, but
you know what's funny? If you go back and look at that Eric Fisher draft. Like, I know a lot of folks didn't like the fact that the Chiefs took Eric Fisher number 1. When you go back and look at who was drafted in that
draft is trash, period, I think.
The Chiefs dodged a bullet. They ended up in the best end of the deal taking Eric Fisher number 1.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
That was a horrific draft.
I think that draft was trash, period.
But you know what though? You know what though? That draft that you're talking about, wasn't that the same draft that we got KK Short and Star Lotulelei? Yeah. Wasn't that the same one?
Hey,
yeah, man. So it's like that. You know, historically, it's not considered.
Let me name these players for you, man. Eric.
Oh,
Fisher.
it's not. No, it's definitely one like from the top to bottom.
Luke Jackal.
Yeah, you don't know none of the names.
Johnson, Ezekiel Ansop, Mingo, Jonathan Cooper, Tavon Austin went at 8. He might end up being the best one out of the whole round.
I forgot about Luke. I forgot about Joker.
Hey.
I forgot about Joker.
Hey, wasn't Joker a left tackle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake Long went number 1 with Miami in 2008.
Oh, I remember him.
That's after that, though.
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking. But the whole reason I'm saying that is because of this. This was the part of the conversation. I don't even know if I put this in my clip that me and Mike Ricks was talking about. Was like the pathway for tackles in the NFL. The majority of tackles end up guards. Like it's not left tackles do not grow on trees. Like this is a hard position to peg. Let me just give you some stats real quick, right? So check this out.
But that's what your boy should be doing is playing.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish.
Last year, like in the 2020 season, and I'm gonna just tell you how crazy this is to find left tackles, right? And this is why I was like, look, if Cam Irvin is the best that we got, then we got to make it work somehow. There were 6 tackles selected to the Pro Bowl for the 2020 season. The shortest arms were on Teron Armstead, who was 34 inches. The last short arm. Now check this out. The last one, you'd have to go back to 2017 to find an offensive tackle with shorter arms, and that's Joe Staley. Jason Peters, who is a Hall of Famer, mind you, and was not drafted, is the only one that has made the Pro Bowl with less than 34-inch arms in the last 10 years. That's what I'm saying. This arm thing, let me tell you, your boy, look, I got killed for this too. Because, Cody, I'm telling you, I came out, the Rashawn Slater shit, you know what I'm saying? I came out on that and was like, the arm situation. This is why I didn't detail the data. When you in the room with these guys, you got to know when they looking at J.C. Horn and Rashawn Slater sitting right there and Panay is off the board. By the way, Panay's arms are over 34 inches. When you look at Rashawn, if you look at just the data tells you that Rashawn's going to end up a guard. He just happened to be a really good left tackle.
But that's, you know what? Oh, okay, go ahead. No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I still would have been okay with that.
To me, and I get it. I would have probably drafted Rashawn Slater too if J.C. Horn is not on the board. To me, the upside of Horn was much higher. I know that there was an injury, but the upside of Horn to me was much higher. And I know this sounds nuts when I say this, but the upside of Horn was higher than the upside of Rashawn Slater for us at left tackle, especially when you consider that the majority of the pass rush that is getting to us is from the interior.
Okay. All right. So, hey, I want to respond to that because, one, that's not crazy at all. I mean, listen, J.C. Horn has an incredible upside. We all agree on that. And we're gonna be better for having J.C. Horn than not having him. But my one problem with that one, and to me, this is indicative of a larger problem in the NFL. It's not just the Panthers. Where now we're doing this thing where people are valuing data and analytics over film tape. My thing is, what about Rashawn Slater's film when people watched him at Northwestern? When did they ever see his arm length be a problem for him? When did they ever see him beaten on a bull rush? When did they ever see him get worked inside because he had improper technique? You never ever saw that kind of stuff on his film from Northwestern. So my thing is this, like, are we just copy and pasting what the data and analytics say about a player rather than evaluating their actual film fairly based on what it is?
That's
like,
fair.
To me, that's kind of an issue.
That's how fair. Greg Olsen became a first round pick.
Okay. But then if we're gonna go off of film and college, then we need to stop the whole Brady Richardson needs to play left tackle thing, because that whole PFF saying he didn't give up any sacks. He was playing lesser competition. We seen Ford and Rush and them guys show clips of Brady Christensen having bats and getting bullied against lesser competition.
I still think he deserves a chance to prove
he can't
at least be better than Cam Irving.
I agree with you. And slide Cam Irvin inside.
Speaking of their arms, Brady Christensen arm length is 32 and a quarter. Penei Sewell's arm length is 33 and a quarter, and Rashawn Slater's arm length is 33.
Yeah, I mean, but also,
so to me, there ain't enough. I've yet to find anybody that explains to me how 1 inch on the arm length is going to help or defeat you.
Guys, it's just like inside of it's just like inside of a boxing arena.
It's supposed to help.
Sometimes in a boxing ring, the advantage goes to the guy who has the longer reach because his jab is going to hit you first. But boxers know that there are proper techniques to use to get inside that opponent's range. That the same is true for offensive and defensive line play. I mean, it may not always be foolproof, but I think, especially some of the guys that Warren mentioned, those guys like Teron Armstead and Staley, like the guys that have been good, that have shorter arms, obviously they have some level of technique that allows them to accommodate for what they might lack. And
those players actually turn out to be the best.
Right,
100% because they have an edge on their shoulder. Go ahead.
Absolutely,
Go ahead,
but the thing is and you know what? I don't disagree, especially when you talked about the tape, like his work against what's my man
Chase
for the
Chase Young,
right? Chase Young. You know what I'm saying? What was great, and to be honest with you, what you can't measure the heart, you can't measure the technique, you can't measure the work ethic, what kind of guy that this guy is going to be. But if I'm a guy that's getting ready to hire somebody, I can't just not look at the numbers and what history has shown me. Like that's my only argument is like, I have to be able to look at what history has shown me. Because here's something else that history has shown us. Our secondary has been trashed for a number of years. That's another thing history has shown us. So it's really a coin flip. And I feel like on either front, we would have been straight. But let me tell you who was the super.
But then you can't use that argument though, because Cameron's history has shown he's not left tackle.
Right. No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is this. So here's a quarterback who was super protected. He got hit a bit, but he was super protected. A guy that we keep trying to trade for, Deshaun Watson. What was his record last year?
It was bad, but hold on. It was
in
bad.
A horrible division.
It was bad, but he also threw for almost 5,000 yards.
But see, that's what I'm
behind
saying.
that same offensive line.
Behind the same offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, special quarterbacks can overcome these types of situations, and that's been my criticism of Sam. I think Sam can.
But he didn't have no weapons, but they did trade for Laramie Tunsil, though.
But my thing is I don't think that Sam Darnold, at least he has not proven yet that he is the kind of player that can elevate the offensive pieces around him.
Oh man, I want to speak on this so bad, Cody.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a history guy. I always like to pull from something that's happened in the past, and then I think expectations are also important. So here's the question: if we would have drafted Sam number 1 overall, do you think that we would give him more time than we're willing to give him this year? Because I honestly, like everybody else has seen that, even I kind of engaged in the hyperbole. PJ Walker, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he threw that third interception, last week. But when I look at history, like if you want to look at Sam's closest comp when it comes to history, right? It probably would be Drew Brees, right? When it comes to moving from one city to the other, right? It really took Drew a while to figure it out. But let me give you a little bit of history. And when Drew made it to New Orleans, 2007 season,
okay,
4 straight losses, including us, the last loss, right? He threw 9 picks and 1 touchdown in that stretch. They would have been willing to burn the world down over that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Imagine if Twitter was around back then, bro.
Yeah,
it would have been crazy.
Are you of the mindset that Panther fans, we kind of just need to take a step back? We need to cool out. We need to cool out a little bit. We need to let Sam have a game to
interceptions his rookie year.
Yeah, he threw a bunch of it.
Yeah. But see, here's the other thing.
That's our fan base as a whole, though.
Yeah,
this is the other question I would ask. Like, I asked me and Big Cat done an interview when I first got started on this YouTube shit, man. And I asked Big Cat a question. I said, bro, if Sam Darnold turned out to be Eli Manning, would you take it? He was like, hell yeah. And I agree. I'm like, he got a ton of interceptions, but he got 2 Super Bowls. You never know what
defense got 2 Super Bowls.
Fact.
Hey, look, it don't matter. Like, Eli was lights out in the postseason, man. Like, that can't be taken.
Eli plays in both those Super Bowls and winning.
He won every.
because of the Super Bowls.
He won every game on the road. I'm talking about in both Super Bowl appearances. They went
he was
on the
good.
road against some dominant teams.
But I don't want Eli as a quarterback.
No, what I'm saying is this: is like if we build everything around him, man, we have seen man, we saw Patrick Mahomes get mauled last year in the Super Bowl by the Tampa defense, man. Like he couldn't do anything. We seen Tom Brady get mauled by the Philly defense and then put up mad points on them. You know what I'm saying? We seen Tom Brady go on the stretch where he didn't win a Super Bowl for almost 9 years.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
President don't have horrible.
We seen Jared Goff. We seen Jared Goff and Jimmy G go to back-to-back Super Bowls.
Facts.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, you know what's crazy about what you just said, T-Money? If both of those dudes would have hit, if they wouldn't have underthrew or overthrew, they might have won that game. Whenever Jared Goff underthrew and
I said that earlier. I said when you're in that tier of quarterback, it's not that you have to be the most accurate quarterback in the world. It's just when you take those 3 to 5 deep shots, we need you to hit on a. You don't even got to hit on every single one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Tom Brady's first.
Hold on. I saw that message. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, but hold up. Before no, you're good, one. We got 2 Johns in here, I think. But yeah, so listen, man, it's a PNP takeover on the C3 podcast, man. Because the man Rashad has joined us, bro.
Damn trouble in this. I heard the bat signal went out. I heard Rashawn Slater's name, so I had to.
Talk some shit, bro. Hey, talk some shit, man. Hey, that's the best left tackle. Rashad, that's the best left tackle in the NFL, man.
Nah, man. Hey, Rashawn Slater is playing well right now. I mean, listen, I did not think he was gonna come out and be this great. But I knew he was gonna be good, whether at left tackle or at guard, he was gonna be solid. And I said that multiple times. And it's unfortunate. Listen, I love J.C. Horn. I love the pick. But at what point do you begin to address this offensive line? We've seen it, man. Like we've seen this over and over and over and over again. It's been trash since Jordan Gross retired. We haven't seen it since. So when do we fix it?
That's what makes it even worse.
That's what makes it even worse. Y'all keep saying it's JC versus Slater. It really wasn't. The pick to fix the offensive line was really Terrence Marshall Jr. versus Creed Humphrey.
Yeah.
I mean, but no, that's not even true, though, man.
You already had starting receivers.
But we need so many different
I wouldn't say
positions
that right
on the
now.
line. We need a left tackle. We need a left guard. You know, we need a center. I mean, it was going to take more than one pick, but I think, you know, to continue upon what Rashad is saying, no one's really saying that, you know, J.C. Horn is a bad player. It's just that the Panthers have been so bad at left tackle since Jordan Gross. And then you look at what Rashawn Slater is doing right now. Bro, I'm here to tell you, Myles Garrett didn't want no smoke with Rashawn Slater, y'all.
Sure didn't.
Like, I don't know if y'all watched that film. Myles had no answers for him, man. Like, and dude, he did that to Chase Young. He did that to Myles Garrett. So that's what makes the whole pick and passing on him even
what makes
worse.
It frustrating.
Even
it makes
worse.
it frustrating.
Yeah. Herbert has. It's like
the one thing that I'm impressed about Slater is when I heard that he asked the coaches and his teammates not to help him on blocks. He's better. He said, I'm better able to handle it myself. Told the tight ends, don't ship that. Man. I can do it myself, and I'm better doing it myself.
You better have some badasses on your offensive line like that, man.
Yeah.
And real quick, I hate to sit here and bring up Jordan Gross because it's unfair to Coach Rhule and that they got to have time to build their. I get it, but they have to understand. They got to be able to read the room, fam. Read the room. Yeah. It's been messed up here for a long, long time from the offensive line. Mm-hmm. And it's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. And I can bring up Teddy Bridgewater and all that stuff. And I will say right now that the offensive line that Teddy Bridgewater had last year is better than this shit that Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we should not be going backwards. It's unacceptable, man.
Truth. We are going backward. And like what makes it even worse is that do we really think that there's going to be an answer to it this season?
No.
Because let me tell you, man, if it's not, we might need to start getting real honest with ourselves about what the ceiling for this 2021 Carolina Panthers team is. Because if it's not going to get better than this, I'm telling y'all, man, it might hurt some of y'all's feelings. But if this continues this way, this is not a playoff football team.
So
I'm sorry,
the second round pick that the Jets have, that second round pick might look like a low end first round pick if this shit doesn't get any better. But we're not going to be able to fix this line. This schedule gets brutal in the second half.
Right.
And just real quick, just to address what John said. I agree with what John said about the analytics because I'm a stats guy, so I'm with you, bro. Like I agree with what you said, but fam, and I agree with Cody too. At the end of the day, you can't replace. You have to combine,
film,
right? You can't throw
over data.
You can't throw data. Yeah, you can't throw film out the window and just isolate and look at the data. You got to look at the tape. And if I can see it, and I'm no offensive line guy, if anytime you bring up and you know the trenches, I'm going to defer to you every time. But I saw it, and if I saw it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
He was my OT one.
That's a good point.
He was my OT one. He was my OT one over Penei Sewell, and everybody loved him to Penei. And by the way, I did like Penei Sewell too, but I thought Rashawn Slater had better technique and wasn't always having to rely on pure brute strength. He would get his body in the right positions, and I felt that he did that even better than Penei Sewell. So yeah, man, it makes it tough. And listen, Dave, we can have this conversation too. If Sam continues to look bad and Justin Fields continues to go up and up, we're going to do the same thing again with Justin. Insert Rashawn Slater, insert Justin Fields. We're just going to be nitpicking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That is the biggest fan base as a whole. We let every decision.
Good.
Well, here's my thing about taking a quarterback in the first round. This has always been my thing. You got to have pieces around him for him to succeed. We had no offensive line. Anybody we would have took at 8 that was available would have gotten destroyed.
Yeah.
You see all these other quarterbacks struggling because they ain't got no pieces around them. You got to put pieces around these guys. Wouldn't have mattered.
That's why they
would have done them a disservice.
Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I don't think Justin would have been successful in his first year had we drafted him. But again, listen,
second year either we don't fix the line.
All we can really do.
Y'all act like we don't know this fan base. So this fan base has no patience with anybody, nothing, coaching, player, no nothing. So how many people would have been, get rid of Justin Fields if he was making the same decision as Sam Darnold?
Yeah, but an organization should never base all of their decisions based on what the fan base is thinking, man. Like they have to make decisions. They have to make decisions for the future of the team. But I want to use that as an opportunity to turn this discussion towards the Minnesota Vikings. And just specifically, what kind of chances do we even have? I mean, are we really the Carolina Christian McCaffrey's? Do we really expect to be able to go toe with Minnesota? Like, what are we expecting from this matchup? And I'll just whoever wants to jump in, man. Look, you know what? Real quick, let me go to Supreme League and my man Mike. I haven't heard Mike in a minute. Tell me something, Mike. What you thinking about this Minnesota matchup?
It's looking a little rough. I heard Jefferson's a little hurt, but at the end of the day, their defense, they can get after the quarterback. And speaking of quarterback, Kirk Cousins, man, but he can get the job done. So at the
carved our ass up last year.
At the end of the day, third quarter is where we're going to see where this team is at. Third quarter.
The third quarter.
Oh man,
we say that every week. We don't get no better in the third. Well, we didn't give as many points up in the third quarter last week.
Hey, so what's the deal with third quarter? Is that? I mean, again,
that's coaching, bro.
Do all roads?
That's coaching.
But that's what I'm about to ask.
Coaching.
Do all roads lead back to the offensive line? How much culpability?
No, I'm not doing that. Because that means our roads use the offensive line in the first half.
How much culpability does Joe Brady have in this? And tell me what you think it is.
A lot.
All of it? I wouldn't say all of it. I'm 50%. I'm willing to give him his piece of the pie for sure.
25%. Rule's got 25.
50-50.
All the rest of them's got 25.
No, it's 50-50, man. Because look, man, we can't be out here leading the game at halftime. We've had to lead all 5 games. His coach's job is to adjust. He always keeps telling, play within the system, play within the system, play within the system. Nah, fam, the system ain't working in the third quarter.
It comes down to what I said earlier. The point of a game plan is to run stuff in the first half or early in the game that sets up stuff in the game. Not because this route works or this play works. That doesn't mean run it 35 times a game.
Fam, Matt Rhule said it. Matt Rhule said it in his press conference, fam. He said, yo, we come out there in the first half, we have scripted shit that we run and it works. Then when shit gets tough, they can't adjust. He said it. He said it. What else do you need to hear, bro?
Yeah, he really did, man. He did. He said it out his own mouth, man.
He said it out his own mouth, man.
And do you know what's even more concerning?
Routes work in the first half. That doesn't mean run 25.
You know what's even more concerning about Matt Rhule saying that? It didn't look like he had any answer for what to do about it, bro. He
hasn't had many answers for anything, has he?
Now we can laugh because we're a fan base. You're David Tepper, and you're writing that paycheck. What are you going to do?
He might want to install a suggestion box to get some other opinions and see what we can do here, man. Because let me tell you,
but you know where that comes from. You know where that comes from. You know where that comes. You know where that comes from, though. That comes from. You have a head coach in Matt Rhule who doesn't specialize in really offense or defense. He's really just there to be a leader. When you have a offensive head coach, then the offensive head coach can say, "Oh, I'm gonna get in there with the offensive coordinator and help him make some changes, that kind of stuff." Matt Rhule's never really been an offensive or defensive coordinator. Really, he let his coordinators rock out.
No, he was an O-line coach originally, wasn't he? Way back in the day before.
He was
a tight end coach.
For like a year, man. He's been all of that.
He was with the Giants.
He was the offensive line coach for the Giants for a year.
Listen,
he wasn't making no play calling this year.
But T, even saying that he was an offensive line coach for a year is misleading because he was only that for 1 year. Every time that he bounced around, like he's played a bunch of coaching positions, man. He's been a defensive coach. He's been an offensive coach. Like he's kind of been everywhere, man. So it's like there's no specialty.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Is my point is he's not going in there with Joe Brady building a game plan, though. He's not going in there with Phil Snow building a game plan.
Because he is not the type of coach like a Sean Payton or a McVay. You know, he's not that kind of schemer like that. So he does have to rely heavy upon his coordinators, and other coaches have made that work too. But again, it's like if Sam Darnold ever thrives under Joe Brady's system, Joe Brady is going to be out the door because you know that all it's going to take is one good season, and Joe Brady is going to get a job he doesn't deserve somewhere.
Oakland.
Mm-hmm. They're already talking about Vegas.
And guess what?
Cody, I'm gonna bounce out of here.
Yeah, Nick, hold on. Let me, Nick, go ahead, man. What are you saying?
I'm gonna bounce out of here, man. I'm pretty beat. I drove like 400 miles today. So,
dude, hey, listen, you are a dedicated man, Nick. I love you, brother. Stay safe. Don't fall asleep at the wheel, man. Stay safe. Be good up there, and I appreciate you, man. We'll see you next Friday, dude. I appreciate
definitely.
You,
I might see you guys Sunday. All right.
Oh shit. All right, appreciate you, Nick.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Hey, Cody, real quick.
Yeah, man.
I heard somebody who I got to give some kudos to on the panel giving Joe Brady the business on the radio yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that boy Rashad on the radio. You know, I live in South Carolina. I heard Rashad say, man, I was on the radio. I said, hold up, is that Rashad on the radio? I'm like, okay.
What radio station you at?
ESPN Upstate.
So Rashad, give us a recap of.
I'm pretty consistent. I'm pretty consistent in my message, man. Joe Brady hasn't done shit to earn a head coaching job anywhere.
Yes.
Everybody wants to, and I get it. You want the
young guy.
You know, you want the young guy. You want to get the Sean McVay thing going. So I get it, but I mean, he hasn't done anything. I mean, you go back to last year. We started hot, and then people adjusted. He didn't. It's just a microcosm of what's going on right now in the season, right?
Mercy.
It's the same thing. It's the same. I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it, bro. Like I want Joe Brady to be successful. Like I want this dude to be successful. I want this team to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Joe Brady, at the end of the day, the dude hasn't done a damn thing to earn the hype around. He got 6 interviews last year, for goodness sakes. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles won the Super Bowl and got 0.
And Rashad, I don't know if you agree with me or not. Your criticism to me doesn't sound like, you know, he could never get there one day and one day be deserving of that job. Simply right now, Joe Brady is too young and does not have a resume that is indicative of a head coach in the NFL.
If I can interrupt real quick, some NFL news. Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury, quarterback coach Cam Turner, and D-line Zach Allen all test positive for COVID.
Not shocked.
I had already picked the Browns anyway. So
how about this though? They might still win that bitch, bro.
Yeah, man. Who are
they might still win that, dude.
They're playing the Browns.
But they're playing the Browns, and the Browns
are a favorite by 21.5 points against Kentucky.
Go ahead, Rashad.
Hey, Cody, real quick, did y'all talk about C-Mac?
Yeah, go ahead, man. It don't matter. Go ahead. Jump in.
I just got a question. I just got a real quick question. So, do you guys think that C-Mac's skill set is factored in when selecting or making a quarterback decision?
Yes.
Yeah, it is this time anyway.
Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Give me a little bit more. What exactly do you mean? So are you asking? Oh yeah, go ahead.
So just the more clarification. When considering or when making a decision on a potential quarterback, are we settling for game manager style quarterback because we have a Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
Or are we because I feel like that's the case.
You know what it's called,
So
Rashad?
hold on. So to make sure that I'm hearing you right, do you feel like potentially Christian McCaffrey is what prevented us from going after, say, a Justin Fields or another guy better than that, because they feel like, well, they don't have to be the best quarterback in the world because we got Christian McCaffrey, and Christian McCaffrey is going to be a Band-Aid for whatever inadequacies that quarterback might have.
That's kind of what Rhule said.
It's certainly a good theory, man. I can't say.
I think it's age.
I'll say this: if that is true, Rashad, that does not speak very well of our coaches and our front office. Because again, what have we been saying forever? You never build your entire offensive identity around one running back. Right. I don't care who that is, man.
Or one player.
It could be Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. I'm sorry. I'm just not I'm not doing that. It has nothing to do with their talent level. They're incredibly talented. But I said this about receiver earlier.
The teams you just said have done that.
You can get so many good running backs and receivers in later rounds of the draft that it's like you're really overpaying a position that ultimately is going to be expendable. So I don't know if that's what caused them to downgrade maybe their hopes of a franchise quarterback. But if it is, man, that's another real damning thing to say about our coaches and our staff.
Rashad, I got
Rashad, you know what that's called?
Go ahead, T-Money.
You know what that's called? That is called the Cam Newton syndrome. Cam is so good. Cam is so talented. Exactly. You don't got to draft offensive line. You got to draft receivers at the top of the draft because Cam will figure out a way to do it. They're doing the same thing now. You don't got to have the best quarterback. You don't got to have the best offensive line because if all else fails, check it down to CMC. He gonna juke 3 people and get us a first down.
Yeah.
Yo, in 2005, Steve Smith was all our offense. When we played Seattle, what happened? They shut him down, and we did nothing. I mean,
Rashad, here's what I would say to what you just said, because you made a very interesting point. But I think that there's a variable that lies within it that can change. Like, I'll give you an example. Marshall Faulk was a very similar running back to Christian McCaffrey in his ability to be able to catch out the backfield and, you know, his amount of touches that he would want. And you got to think Marshall Faulk was still in the what many would consider the running back era. You know what I'm saying? So he where you could still kind of power the offense through, you know, a running back. But when Indianapolis traded him to the Rams, I do wonder, like, would the success of the Rams still been the same with Trent Green had he not gotten hurt and Kurt Warner been inserted? Because I think part of that equation of what you're saying, which is very true, is the temperament of the quarterback that's playing the position. Like, are you willing to tell C-Mac no sometimes? Like, hey, no, you don't get as many touches in this situation. No, I'm not going to go to you or use you as a safety blanket all the time, because I think the temperament of the quarterback is important as well. And I don't know if Sam Darnold really has that kind of temperament to be able to distribute in that way. I guess we don't know yet, but I think that's an important thing too, because like I said, we don't know if Trent Green would have looked the same with Marshall Faulk as Kurt Warner did, but we know what kind of stuff Kurt Warner was made of. You know what I'm saying? And they had a lot of weapons on that team.
Yeah, but that shows the wishy-washiness of us as fans, though. Is we pick and choose when we want to complain about touches. Chuba had how many touches last week, and did anybody say, "Oh well, don't give Chuba the ball"?
I don't like that. That's not a good argument. That's not a valid argument. I hate that, because my thing is this: if you're going to use C-Mac, if that is the offense, why change it? That's my argument. If you're going to give C-Mac the 30 touches per game, then give Chuba 30 touches per game.
That's what I'm saying. But a lot of the fan base will complain every week about CMC getting 30 touches, but didn't have nothing to say.
This offense wasn't built around Chuba Hubbard, though. It was built around CMC. So you can't necessarily make that same comparison. But again, it goes back to the he can't catch. There's a lot of things. No one is comparing the talent level between Chuba Hubbard and Christian McCaffrey. But what I am saying, at least, is I think Chuba Hubbard, especially with a little more snaps under his belt, can damn sure be more than enough. Look at what San Francisco's done the past few years. They've had a bunch of undrafted running backs go into the playoffs and put up record-breaking rushing performances.
Yeah, right. But the offense, this offensive line and this quarterback decision is designed to, if you're in trouble, get to the running back. Whether it's through the running game or the passing game, that's just how our offense is designed.
The Patriots are set up right now.
Hey, Cody, the Panthers told us all this. If you go back and watch Panthers Confidential, when they were talking about bringing in Sam Darnold, they said, one of the guys that was sitting there said, look, Sam's got to learn. He doesn't have to do it all himself. We've got Christian McCaffrey. Dump the ball off to Christian. They told us this.
We drafted Chuba because we felt like Chuba, was Chuba able to catch better in college or something? But when they drafted
Chuba, he's always been a downhill thumper, man. He's not necessarily fast. He doesn't have that breakaway speed, but I mean, he'll do what he needs to do.
But when they drafted Chuba, they said we feel like he can do everything that Christian McCaffrey does if something happened to Christian or if we needed him to fill in.
Pat, come make some trouble, bro.
Bring Pokey with you, bro. Bring Pokey with you.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, man. Hey, bring Pokey, bring Calypso. Bro, we're making the party, bro.
Keep Calypso, bro.
So to push on this.
Bro, we gotta bring Calypso, bro.
Calypso's a homie. Stick him on me, dog.
Calypso's a homie, bro. Calypso's a homie, man. But I mean, look, I kind of want to get back to this Vikings defense going against this Panthers offensive line. What's going to be the game plan here? I mean, do we foresee a scenario where we're just failing to run the football by the time we get to the second quarter, and now we're having to force feed DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson down the field? Like, what are we really expecting?
We can run it.
for the best.
The Vikings giving up $130 per game, bro, on the ground. So we should be running it. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about us running the football. I'm concerned about us putting the ball in Sam's hands and let him sling it. I mean, their pass rush is good. Their pass rush ranks second in sacks in the league.
Yeah,
that's what I'm scared about.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing it up. Like this offensive line, if we weren't able to look somewhat decent against Houston and the Jets, like, man, these matchups are not getting any more favorable for us, y'all. Like, they're only getting tougher. They're only getting aggressive. The defensive coaches that were going up are only getting better and more tenured and more aggressive. Like, again, man, unless the Carolina Panthers are either able to get their rookies involved in a meaningful way to see if they're better than our starters, or if they're able to pull off some kind of trade, those are the only two things in my mind that could happen to potentially save this Panthers season, man. Other than that, this is what I would
Did Rhule say officially what he's doing with the offensive line this week? He's going back to Cam on the left and Mo on the right?
Yeah. Cam Irving's going back to right, or Cam. Yeah, it's going back to the way it started out.
Yeah.
Taylor right side and
Taylor right, Cam at left.
Cam at left.
Pat Elflein, I think, is going to be back at guard, right?
He's still on injured reserve. Waiting out the practice today to see how he felt, and he said if he feels fine, then he'll start.
So right now he's questionable. They don't know if he's going to be a go or not.
Right now he's still listed on injured reserve.
I said beginning of the year
he can practice, but they have like up to a couple weeks. It's like 30 days or something like that to activate him. So,
but they said if he felt good after this practice today, when they check him out, they said they would activate him.
I said
so who's playing the other guard, Miller or Daly?
Miller's the starter, and as the defensive tackle's gonna have to field day with him.
I get Miller ass up out of here immediately.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. I understand if I don't really understand, but I'll just say I understand for the sake of argument. But I understand if they don't want to put Brady Christensen on the left. I understand, I guess, but his future's not right tackle. No. So put him at guard and let him see what he can do. They're not. I mean, if his future is not at right tackle, why leave him at right tackle? Why spend a third round pick on a backup right tackle?
Our offensive line is not getting beat by skills. They're getting beat just on speed. Like they're getting beat.
Speed and power and bull rush.
Power, stunt, whatever you want to do.
Right up the middle.
Either way, Daly, Elflein, and Miller are all sucking.
Philadelphia,
so why not put somebody else in? What they gonna do? Suck worse?
Yeah, Philadelphia was killing us with the stunts, man. Again, those aggressive teams, but like my thing is this: I disagree with you, Panther Rhule, in that I don't like Brady Christensen at guard. I just don't think that's where his future is. I think
that makes no sense for what they said after they drafted him.
It never made sense.
If he's a second round guard in your eyes, how does the second round guard not start?
It's the dumbest.
I just want to see him on the field.
I honestly don't know how you could look at a guy who played primarily tackle at BYU. I mean, almost all exclusively tackle, and then you have him rated as a third round tackle, yet a second round guard. Like, is that what one was talking about earlier when he was talking about arm length? That just because they saw his arms, they automatically assumed that he would be a better guard than he was tackle? Because that's kind of what it sounds like to me.
That makes sense is we would have to ask for a man rush or one of our guys who watch tape. When Brady Christensen did struggle on tape, was it more with speed guys or power guys? Because if it's with speed, then maybe you could say, okay, maybe he's not good enough blocking speed guys, so that maybe that's why he's a better guard. That's the only that makes sense.
I mean, I don't think we've really seen enough of Christensen to really say one way or another. I mean, I've seen him get beaten with both, but they're not like all the time things. In my mind,
I'm saying that's the only way that. That's the only way that makes sense to me, though.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I'd rather say rookies get beat than
whenever we have seen Brady Christensen play at guard, I've been disappointed by his performance. I feel like that's just not where he's suited to play. But also going back to what you were saying, Kenneth, the Panthers disagree with you. They have said numerous times that they didn't view Brady Christensen as a right tackle, and that's where they see him at in his future. So it's like, the Panthers coaches are really in opposition to a lot of the fans and a lot of the things that we're wanting to do on this offensive line.
So my question is this: if they see
him, hold
up, T. After Drew, I'll let you go. Go ahead, Drew.
I'm just saying we've gone back and forth on this since the beginning. If they see him as a right tackle, then what was the point in bringing him in? Because Taylor Moton, you just signed Taylor Moton to a long-term deal. He is your right tackle.
Was Taylor Moton extended? Was Taylor Moton extended before the draft? I can't remember.
No, I think he was.
No, he got extended after the draft, but they had said they were going to come up. They were going to get signed him.
You mean the draft? You said,
Nah, it was right before camp.
Yeah, it was right before.
It was right before camp.
If you drafted your right tackle,
it was after the draft. It was right before the deadline. They got that deal done right before the deadline for franchise players. But I mean, if that's the case, you have your franchise right tackle in Taylor Moton. If you're saying Brady Christensen's future is at right tackle, then it's not on this team.
That's what I'm saying. If you view Taylor Moton as the guy that you like enough to pay him money to keep him at right tackle, then what? You're bringing in Brady Christensen to play guard? Hey, right now your guards are terrible. Why haven't you played him some more yet?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense every way you try and look at it. And by the way, like, none of us on this panel right here are like going out of our way to shit on the Panthers or the coaches. We're just being honest with you about there are these moves that are being made that just when you say them out loud don't make a shred of sense. Like it's not working, man.
When we traded for Gilmore and Henderson, everyone was like, "Yeah, but what about our line?"
So
they told us at the beginning of the season.
Only chance you're gonna have to for offensive alignment is you hope the Eagles keep losing, where they will trade Andre Dillon.
Let me say this. So
I don't think they have interest in
this Vikings game. This Vikings game is gonna be like an indictment on like the rest of the season, because Rhule and Fitterer they bet on Eflin and Irvin to solidify that part of the line, and now it's not working. So they got a chip, they got a max protect. This game is going to define the rest of the season.
I got
week 6, Cody. You said that.
But again, that comes from your reliance on CMC. CMC is he's so good helping the block in the passing game that we've all seen that him blocking the defensive tackle 1-on-1.
He's our best blocker.
That speaks to my point earlier, right? That was my whole point about, are we making personnel decisions based on having Christian McCaffrey there? And that is my biggest concern, because you're betting on a guy that is, for recent history, is starting to become injury prone. And I have some concerns about that, especially when you're making personnel decisions.
22 games.
Yeah, you're making personnel decisions, and then on top of that, you have the entire offense revolving around this cat. There's too much on him.
If you're still someone who is refusing to even let the conversation enter your brain that Christian McCaffrey might be injury prone,
I agree.
Dude, you are not looking at this fairly, man.
It's a lot of dudes in denial about Christian McCaffrey.
Rashad, we showed the Joe Person tweet earlier. 16 of 22 games Christian McCaffrey has missed since Matt Rhule has been here in Carolina. That's most of the games with our new coach, man. Like, we really have to be honest about what we're seeing with Christian McCaffrey. And how about this? How many people trust that Christian is going to stay healthy even when he does come back.
I do.
And so, and real quick, Cody, because I think a lot of people get on us, right? Because we bring up these points and they think we hate Christian McCaffrey. That's far from the truth. We love CMC, but it comes to a point that, dude, like I get it. He's talented, but the reality is, I think we're like 15-23 with him as a starter. Like, I get he's great, bro. Like, he's a fantastic player, but at the end of the day, he is not going to make us. He's not going to take us to the Super Bowl alone. Like no guy will. But that's my point. Like, and I think a lot of people think that. Well, that's true. But a lot of people think that this guy is like the entire offense is this guy is so great that he's just going to elevate us to a Super Bowl, and I just don't think that's a fair.
But he's also
people forget. Everybody says Cam did, but people forget Cam had a top 5 defense. People forget.
Wait a minute.
We're talking about offensively, though.
Wait a minute. We're not about to compare. We're not about to compare running back to quarterback, y'all. A quarterback might do that, but hey, before we go any further, I gotta welcome my man Justin. Justin, what's going on, bro? And you're on mute. You're on mute, man. You're on mute.
Yo, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, man. I can hear you. What's up, bro?
Not much, man. I've been just listening, taking care of my little boy. They had the opportunity to call in, so
it's all good, man. It's all good. Hey, what are you thinking about Christian McCaffrey, man? I've been seeing you in the chat room, but jump into this convo, man. What you got to say,
bro? So I agree with what a lot of you guys already said. CMC is an exceptional talent, but I don't know when's the first time I heard it said the best ability is availability. CMC ain't been available. Like Wade played 3 games last season. He's out for 2 games already.
3.
I don't know, like 3. Yeah, man. That like when he's on the field, he that dude, but.
To me, it's an injury prone is something where it's the same injury over and over.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
This to me is what injury prone is.
But Kevin, if you're having a
injury prone is when you keep getting hurt. It doesn't matter what the injury is.
If you're never on the field,
what happened again?
All I'm saying is if you're never on the field, it doesn't matter if it's the same injury. It doesn't matter if it's a bunch of new ones. If you're never on the field, you're never on the field. That's injury prone.
That's what Thomas Davis.
All that I'll say about that is we just have to accept it, though. That whole Madden philosophy of thinking we gonna trade him is not gonna work. Though.
And don't underestimate Christian McCaffrey as a distraction too.
Yeah, the only way that they could probably say that, man, I said it in the chat. They probably need to just go ahead and start him at receiver. Let you start at running back. That CMC start as a receiver. You can always motion him into the backfield and hand him off the ball. But that
teams don't fear Cuba; they fear CMC.
Yeah, and on that note, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to call in. So. This past draft with like everything that happened in the all season, something that I've not really heard a lot of people speak on. Call me crazy if it sounds crazy, but we extended Robbie, knowing DJ contract is coming up. They draft Harris in the 2nd round. Like the way I look at the wide receiver position when I see when CMC is healthy, he's going to be the number 1 and number 2 option. So whoever you have at wide receiver, no matter how skilled they are, they're going to get bumped down. We have DJ who's been balling out right now, but his contract's coming up. You extended Robbie when you didn't need to, and you drafted Harris to a position that's already fairly strong. I was talking to a friend, and he was the one that got my mind to thinking about it. What's the likelihood that they're planning on trading DJ because the DJ's not their guy? You trade him, you don't have to pay him, and that allows them to pay other cats, guys on the defense.
Shadow, cancel the show if we trade DJ Moore, bro.
That's that mad.
That's tweaking.
You said you'll cancel your show for just DJ Moore?
Show be canceled,
man, don't do it.
No. So
Dave,
I hear you. I hear your premise. It makes
that
sense.
is that Madden talk.
But I feel. Listen, I feel like this. Listen, nobody's going anywhere, and I feel like C-Mac ain't going nowhere. My only beef with C-Mac is, and it's not really a beef with him. It's a beef with Joe Brady or whoever is coordinating the offense. We have too many, and you just ran it down, right? We have all these cats. Why is it like? There's so many. I wish there's so many offensive coordinators out there that wish they had the plethora of weapons that we have to play with. Why is it so difficult for us to spread the football around?
Facts.
And even so, even talking about so I hear that. So even look at what Joe Brady did last week against the Cowboys, right? He put a couple weeks ago when he put DJ Moore in the backfield. Right, and had him come out and do the Texas route to score a touchdown. That would have never happened had C-Mac been around. Like, why is it taking all of this to make this offense?
Facts.
Why is it taking all this to make all these dudes get involved? Why is it that C-Mac has to go down? I feel like with C-Mac on the field, you should have it should be so many options out there that we should never be stopped. We should never be stopped.
But again, that's why it makes our fan base complain about paying too many weapons because Joey can't figure out how to use them all. Rather than we should be the opposite way. We should be one of those teams happy because we have so many different weapons that we can just all spread the ball around. Like I never understand the whole shouldn't have paid Robbie argument.
If y'all
it's good to have multiple receivers that can catch the ball.
You ain't looking in the right places if you don't, because there's too many dudes on defense to pay. Hassan Reddick, he's going to require a bag, a huge one at that. So that's why I had a problem with Robbie Anderson contract.
Okay. You don't pay Robbie, you let him walk. What has Terrence Marshall showed that he's the number 2 receiver?
Same as Robbie.
He hasn't had a chance to see it.
He's done the same as Robbie.
But here's my question.
No, go look at the percentage of snaps that Terrence on the field, though.
Is he getting targeted?
Something before we make
What's his target percentage? What's his target percentage?
He ain't getting that many targets, man. I'm telling you.
Another thing you got to look at too with Terrence Marshall is the fact that when he was at LSU, he spent time in the slot and lined up outside. He's mostly only in the slot here.
He's a third option
and
too.
see, that's another thing that we have to kind of walk this
line.
Hold on. We've all been sitting here. Hold on, we've all been sitting here talking about the offensive line, how bad it is. My question to everybody is this: like, how much of the blame goes around? Because we all just sat here and said, "Man, this old line is trash." And if Sam has already built a connection with Sam Darnold, then is it on the offensive line that we're not spreading the ball around? Is it on Joe Brady not game planning to get the ball into other people's hands?
Quarterback for not spreading the ball.
What is it?
Bullshit. Hell no. Listen.
It's I said it earlier. It's the cycle of problems.
T-Money, let Shaw go, man. Let him go.
Every offensive coordinator has something to scheme around, bro. There aren't many great offensive lines in the league, bro. We could sit up here and fucking bullshit, but ain't many of them. It's about maybe 4 or 5. You have to be able to scheme around it, bro. So to me, it goes straight down. Because what did they tell him? What did they tell Sam? Play within the system. Play within the system.
Don't be
a
hero.
C-Mac. Don't be a hero. Don't force the football. Drop it out. Do your check down. Blah, blah. It's the same thing I said about Teddy Bridgewater last year. Y'all kill me for it. It's the same exact thing, bro. It is the system. I've been saying that shit since last year, bro. The system is the system. That is the problem, bro.
Shit rolls downhill.
Better than Teddy was last year, though.
Shit rolls.
No, don't do that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Teddy was out here. Teddy was out here going within the system and got attacked.
We don't even have to
let me finish. Let me finish. He was going with the system, and when he went against the system, the coach threw his ass under the bus. Whenever he went against the grain, and right now, Rhule is starting to do that with Sam. He's gonna see all these damn interceptions.
I'm gonna go against the grain too. If you think you Cam Newton trying to jump over and fumbling the ball, chill your ass out.
Listen, y'all said something. Y'all want to trade CMC because he's injury prone and everything. I mean, I remember like most of y'all were angry when we cut Cam. He was injury prone.
Cam did more for his team.
At the end of his career, but again, I don't think.
I mean,
we don't. My
you should be happy we got rid of Cam.
I think the fan base was pissed about Cam. No, fan base was pissed about Cam because of the way it was executed.
But here's something that y'all don't want to hear though. If we can say that it's on Joe Brady, but I'm telling you, as long as this offensive line is as bad as it is, you all might listen. You all might be right. Hold on. You all might be completely correct about Joe Brady. But I'm here to tell you, if this offensive line doesn't get better and if it continues to be as trash as it is, Joe Brady is going to get the benefit of the doubt. Are we having a different discussion if Sam hits those throws that he missed to Terrace Marshall, the throw that he missed, the throw that he missed to Robbie Anderson when he overthrew that ball? I mean, again, like,
y'all said the same thing about Teddy.
Missing wire. It's
still true.
I know.
When you have that, I keep saying it. When you have that middle tier of quarterback, you don't have to be the most accurate dude. It's just on those 5 shots or 3 shots you take a game, you got to hit on a couple of them. If you can't do that, then that's when they're going to be ready to get rid of you.
Yeah,
I mean. We did on the whole conversation on OC. Every time I bring it up, my mind immediately goes to Shanahan with the 49ers. If I'm not mistaken, like a year or two ago, the 49ers O-line was either hurt, like devastated by injury, or they were just outright trash. But Shanahan was still able to scheme around that shit. He had multiple running backs going off. The quarterback did exactly what he needed to do. They were still formidable. So with all the issues our offense is having, we see that they put up points in the first half. But then the second half rolling around and we struggle. You can say what you will about Sam's decision making, but at the end of the day, Brady, as a coach, every coach's objective is to put the player in a position to succeed. Brady's not calling plays to put Sam in a position to succeed. You're calling 5-step dropbacks knowing that your O-line can't hold up a block. Roll the man out of the pocket. Like, get him on the move. He seems to throw better when he's running. That's all I'm breaking.
I think
that Shanahan team lost the Super Bowl because of the point that's made, though. Jimmy G in that game couldn't make those necessary throws.
But they got there. They got there.
Sometimes
going off what Justin just said about, the offensive coordinator schemes things out. So if we continue to go the way that we're going now, and if the season kind of falls apart, does Joe Brady get the axe after the season?
No, and that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, listen, we might as well be farting into the wind right now, bro. Talking about Joe Brady, this is my point. As long as the offensive line is this bad, it doesn't matter how many legitimate critiques there are of Joe Brady's play calling. Joe Brady is not about to go anywhere, and he's not about to be the person that gets the blame pinned on him for this offense being bad.
Mike Rimmers,
they will say that.
Wait. Mike Rimmers started in 2 Super Bowls. I'm gonna say it again. Mike Rimmers started in 2 Super Bowls. Mike Rimmers.
Because of injuries on the second one, though. It was because of injuries on the second one.
I don't never want to hear that damn name again.
Mike Rimmers started in 2 Super Bowls. All I'm saying is to say that these offensive lines ain't always great that make it to these Super Bowls.
I heard that Mike Rimmers named his child after Von Miller. I can't.
You sure it wasn't Vita Vea?
Hey, it could have been all of them, man. He might have the longest last name ever.
My point is that we can talk about the offensive line, and like Rashad said, there aren't too many elite offensive lines in the NFL right now. Like that has been there aren't that many. Like there aren't. Right. Like we could go to 4MR, they could probably prove it, but there aren't. But what it boils down to is you as an OC has to adjust accordingly, and that's what Joe Brady has not been doing. You can't give the offensive line all this heat throughout the game. We're out here leading after every game after halftime.
I heard in his offseason meeting with Fitter and Tepper to save his job. That's where he gonna go. Is let's get the offensive line right for year 3.
You ain't got to worry about his job, bro, because he's going to be a head coach.
When we were 3-0,
head coach.
When we were
Joe
3-0,
Brady's
they
trying
said
to run
we
our
were ahead of
offense like he
schedule.
had LSU offensive line. We don't have that type of offensive line. It don't work.
By the way, and look, hey, that's another conversation that kind of came up on our last Tuesday night show. And now it has people going back and looking at that LSU season under a microscope, man. They had Joe Burrow. They had the best offensive line in football. They had Justin Jefferson. They had Jamar Chase. They had Terrace Marshall. They had Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
The Hubble telescopes and all that shit. They knew that.
Loaded,
man. We knew that.
Right. But yo, let me ask a question real quick.
Yeah, Panther fans be knowing stuff. It is still surprised about stuff they already do.
Hey,
I do believe this. I believe that sometimes people who are really, really smart oftentimes can overthink the room. Let me give you an example, right? So Pat McAfee was talking about this today, and he said, you know, when you watch the confines of a game, like you'll see a 2-minute offense being run, and the 2-minute offense is almost virtually unstoppable. Why don't more teams run those same plays throughout the course of a game? And when you look at what happened in that Dallas game, when they, you know, came back within, you know, what was it? What the final score was 28 to what? Somebody help me out. Was it 35, 36?
36.
Or something like that, right? So we saw a lot of check down, then boom, a shot. Check down, boom, a shot. And it's like, I wonder sometimes, do these guys overthink the room? And then also another thing, too, as far as Matt Rhule is concerned, when you look at, like, I've always kind of measured leadership by two different standards. It's like a good leader can manage like maybe one, maybe possibly two alpha personalities at one time. A great leader can manage a whole room of them. When you look at like the Nick Saban, you know, coaching tree, or you look at like, because Jimbo just finally beat him, right? Or you look at Bill Belichick's coaching tree, and you see all these alpha personalities. I wonder sometimes if Matt Rhule hired a group of guys that don't necessarily push back as much. And that maybe that's part of the issue as well. It's like when you look at Joe Brady's play calling, like, can you go into a room and like really yell at Joe Brady like you really want to, or are you afraid of what you gonna get pushed back with? You know what I'm saying? Because
I think
Joe Brady got that fourth down. Remember? When
I think
he was the punt?
I think because Matt Rhule.
You're breaking up.
Hey T, come back.
I think it's because Matt Rhule is such a good.
Hey T, you're breaking up, man. Come back out and come back in because your audio's cutting out on you. I'll bring you back in.
I was like when we were 3-0, they said we were ahead of schedule. Do y'all still feel like that?
No.
Is there even a schedule?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the Panthers are right on time.
Don't say that, man.
The defense is.
The Panthers are right on time. Hey, someone alluded to this earlier. I have a tried and true theory that you do not see who the best teams in the NFL are until after week 6. Yeah. Because then it's once you start getting into late October, early November football, when the weather starts to change, that's when you really start to separate the men from the boys, and a lot of the pretenders fall off. I'm kind of thinking that there's a potential that we're seeing that happen a little early for the Panthers. We might be ahead of schedule in the wrong direction.
I'm definitely guilty, bro. I'm guilty, dog. I saw them dubs and I got excited. I ain't gonna lie, man.
It's hard not to, fam.
Yeah, I'm just putting it out there that I'm guilty, dog.
Even though we projected it, like me and Rashad projected us starting 3-0, and we knew that we were probably gonna lose to Dallas. But we didn't. And I said we were going to lose to Minnesota because it was a game that we should have won and we were going to lose. But that ended up happening with Philadelphia. So we
think of all the work that Rashad, you, Cody, Dave, you guys. Like I said, I've been in this thing for a very short amount of time. But when you think about the amount of work that you guys have put in on the ground level, like I remember when I, showed up for the draft situation, man, I was lost as shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all put in real work in this shit, bro. So, like, of course, when you see your team and all the work accumulated, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was the most I ever been invested in the draft in my life. And to see it all come together in 3 games and look like you thought it would when we was making all these videos in the summertime, it is exuberating. You know what I'm saying? But now we at a point where it's like, all right, we're taking a little bit of a slide. I do think the Minnesota game is a must win, but what I'm hoping is that when this team get healthy, similar to how the Giants did when they beat New England in 2007, in that stretch of time, in that the last few games of the year, especially when they got in the postseason on the road, you did not want to see the Giants. And I feel like this team has shown players on it that if we get healthy at the right time, bro, anything can happen. And that's what's so great about being a fan is like you just don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
man. You know the game. I think the game, if we were hoodwinked at all, it was that New Orleans game. Because look, after I'm saying if the Panther fans were too high on this football team, the game that really did it was New Orleans. They have a good offensive line. They got a veteran offensive line. We came down there and gave Sean Payton one of the worst games that he has ever coached as a coach for the New Orleans Saints.
He was missing half his team.
That kind of they were missing a lot of coaches.
But they had just at Green Bay though. I think
they had destroyed the Packers. They destroyed them. So the fact that we were able to put up that kind of performance and our defense looked the way it is, let's kind of transition to that. What is our defense? What kind of performance are y'all expecting our defense to have against Minnesota? I know they have some big players that are kind of up in the air whether or not they're going to play.
Let me hop this one on real quick. Okay, I'm a fantasy guy, and I'm going to say something that's going to be wild. I'm benching Dalvin Cook this week.
I think is he playing?
I'm benching whoever the running back from Minnesota is this week.
So you believe in you believe in our defense? You believe our defense is going to get
done? I'm benching Dalvin Cook this week. I'm playing either Chuba or Darrell Williams.
Does it matter that Shaq Thompson isn't going to play?
Is he not?
No, he's not playing.
No, he's not playing.
I mean, we did well against Philadelphia. We did well against Philadelphia. I think. So I'm not.
Minnesota's better though.
Minnesota is a much better. I would say Minnesota has a. If you look at their collection of weapons, I would say Minnesota is a better offense.
I'm not doubting how good the offense is. I just think our run defense is really good. I think I'm not blinded by what happened with Zeke and Tony Pollard because there was other issues involved with that situation.
I mean, last time we played Dalvin Cook, we put him out the game, right?
Yeah. So I mean, Vikings have been pretty good too, though.
I'm more worried about Adam Thielen, to be honest with you.
He's been on my fantasy. He's on my fantasy team.
I'm more worried about Adam Thielen, to be honest with you.
Their receivers scare me, bro. I don't think they've been really tested. To be honest with you, I don't think our secondary has been really tested.
I'm not scared of Adam Thielen, to be honest with you. He had 0 points until like 2 minutes left in the fourth.
The player,
what did he do before that?
Don't go.
The dude pissed me off.
Look, you going off that.
You like Dave with the fantasy stuff, man. Screw all that. Look at the numbers.
0.
What's going on?
I got Thielen too, bro. I'm not bitching Thielen. I'm not bitching Thielen.
It don't concern me because CJ Henderson didn't do well.
So the run defense against Dallas. I can't think of the guy's name. Cody mentioned him earlier. He did a breakdown on what went wrong in that game.
Brent Coleman.
Yeah. Snow was being cute and was running a lot of nickel formation.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that if we'd have gone to like a basic 4-3 look, we'd have shut their run down also.
Yeah, we got to learn from that.
We get Gilmore this week, right? We got Gilmore this week.
Next week.
Yeah,
I think the
Giants.
I think the biggest thing Snow wasn't expecting was he wasn't expecting Zach Martin to be able to block Derrick Brown one-on-one.
Yeah.
And this is another thing, like just to speak on Brady, to compare Brady. Dallas went into that game with a 2 tight end, like he was running heavy sets, 2 tight ends to the same side because they were going to establish the run. Like this is the type of stuff I'm asking Brady to do. You know, this offensive line does not block very well. Let's leave somebody back there, like leave Trimble in the backfield. Let's run some 2 tight ends. I have complete and utter faith that DJ can take a cornerback's ankles. Robbie can take a cornerback's ankle and get open if it's one-on-one. I truly do believe that. so you can leave some guys in the backfield to help protect Sam. Say that again? I just didn't catch what it was you guys said.
No, keep going, boss.
But yeah, man, that's like stuff like that. Like you see, like yesterday, the Bucks and Eagles game. I was watching the Rams game this past weekend, and I'm just for everything that Brady was hyped up to be. They were talking like he's going to be the next Sean McVay. You watch these guys who actually know how to just screw a defense up. Like it doesn't matter. You can have a perfect play called on defense, but they got you. I can't think of the Rams receiver. It's all like he's leading the league. Like he's leading the league.
Cooper Kupp.
It's like him and the other cat. Like McVay will have it set up.
Yeah, Woods.
Yeah, he'll dangle Woods in front of you. You're like, oh, Woods is getting the ball, and you don't realize Kupp ran right by you. Like, bro, I ain't asking you to be Sean McVay, but I'm asking you to be a competent OC. That's all I'm asking. Like, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, no, listen.
But Joe Brady around the league is supposed to be seen in that Sean McVay light, though.
Yeah,
he's gonna be one of them super young head coaches.
It's not even that he can't
get a head coaching job. I'm rooting for the man.
Yeah, I hope he gets a head coach job.
I'm rooting for him because we're not going to fire him. So we got to get him out of there.
Let's remember something. Joe Brady was at LSU. He wasn't an offensive coordinator. He was a passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach. He called a few plays, but he didn't call all the plays.
So if he was
when he was hired at Carolina, he was said, "Here, you got the keys." And you look back, he doesn't have anybody to reach out to for help.
Yeah, he was a passing game. If he was a passing game coordinator, why in the hell do you have a receiver on the sideline blowing up? Because he's telling you, and it's the second week in a row where you done heard a corner say they're sitting on our routes.
Facts.
That's good point. To me, it goes back with bad coaching altogether. There's bad coaching from the head coach to the offensive coordinator. Because Matt Rhule is not offensive coordinator.
Matt Rhule had to build his coaching staff the way he had to build it because, again, he's not an offense or defensive coach. He's a leader of men. So if you're that type of coach, that means your coordinators have to be really, really good XO kind of guys.
That's
for that coaching staff.
Hey, what does it do for the morale of the football team if we're all sitting around here coming up with the very clear inadequacies that this offense has right now? We all see Robbie Anderson very visibly has frustrations with this offense. It really makes you wonder what our players are thinking, man. Like, are they also thinking like, man, we're being held back by this sorry ass play calling, and then the fact that Matt Rhule goes in his press conference and is like, well, I don't know how to fix it. What do you think?
It's not a big deal. Every good receiver has those moments when you're losing. Mike Evans has those moments, and they win a fucking Super Bowl and looking like one of the best offenses that ever touched the football, and he still had a moments.
And not only that,
feel like he's not getting the ball enough when they losing.
Not only that, Cody, like when I looked at that blow up probably 100 times, man, to see what I thought he was saying. It looked like to me, because I wonder if that was reactionary. Like, remember when Robbie dropped that pass earlier? How do we know that when he went over to the sideline, something wasn't said to him and he was reacting? Because what it looks like he said was, "I was not open, coach." That's exactly what it looks like he said.
Yeah,
when he was
sitting on those routes.
Yes,
because they were just sitting on them. And didn't Slay, Darius Slay, say that in his interview after the game too? He was like, "Yeah, I knew that they were just going to continue to run those stop routes."
Yeah, and how do we know? And you know the old
Steven Nelson last week and the week before Travion Diggs said it.
And what's that old adage? Shit rolls downhill. So
if
it's coming from up top and it's going down to somebody on the field, and then it comes to that wide receiver coach and he chews Robbie's ass, Robbie's probably like, "Bruh, I wasn't open. There was 3 fucking people around me. Like, what was I supposed to do?"
So, and that takes me back to what I was saying. If you have Sam is not on Cam's level of athleticism, but you have a quarterback who can move if he needs to move. So if you roll that man out of the pocket, if we're able to establish the run, and you can get some boot plays, you can open stuff up downfield. Read option. Like, when I tell you, it beats me up. Like, we don't know what Sam is. The sad truth of the matter is, if Brady is as good an OC as people make him out to be, he needs to show it. And if he is that dude, he can show that, hey, I can make Sam an adequate quarterback, even with this shit O-line. But if you're telling me the only way that Brady can get in his bag is if everything goes perfect for him, he's not.
Then you're not as much of a genius as everybody else is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and you know what else? You're not a coach, you're a play caller. A coach can make adjustments when it's happening. You're just a play caller.
So,
like I said,
but even look at even the use of Robbie this year. The whole point of Robbie coming to Carolina in the first place, besides he a Temple boy, was that he got tired of the Jets just using him as a deep threat guy, and he wanted to run every kind of route. What happened to that this year? When do we see Robbie catch slants anymore? When do we see Robbie run in routes anymore? It's all deep stuff. People forget DJ and Robbie both had over 1,000 yards, but Robbie had like 30 more catches than DJ last year.
Yeah. He was the beast in like the beginning of the year. That year.
That's what I'm trying like, with all the talent this offense has, with all the talent that they have, you can legitimately run. You can say, DJ, you're gonna run this route. Robbie, the next play, you're gonna run the same route. Like, they both tremendous with yards after the catch. They just do them in different ways. Robbie will burn you with his speed. DJ will drop his shoulder on you, make three dudes look like they stupid, and then take off. Like, get these dudes the ball. You don't have to run these intricate routes. They don't have to be anything that takes 5 seconds to develop. You can get them the ball.
There is such a thing as an abundance of riches, though. I think I think you're seeing that in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield. It's not coincidental the fact that he struggles when OBJ is on the field.
Yeah, but I disagree with that because Jarvis Landry has been out and OBJ still ain't been getting the ball.
Yeah,
true. Well, I mean, listen, the Browns.
There's other issues there. They've been talking about how Cleveland, like Baker isn't. He's not even looking on OBJ's side. So there's rumors that they're going to trade.
You want him gone?
Dude, I feel bad. Hey, and you know what? They should. You know what? Real talk. They should, man. Yeah. They have two studs at the running back position, man. They got Nick Chubb, and they got Kareem Hunt, and they got one of the better offensive lines in football. Like, in my mind, that team right now, they're the truest definition of an old school smash mouth.
Passing should be their third option.
And that the run game travels. Run game travels well on the road. So
if y'all not deeper than that, if you trade OBJ, who is Jarvis Landry's best friend in the whole wide world, how are you gonna lose him?
Yeah, but you might lose him anyway. You might lose him anyway because
if the quarterback doesn't trust the wide receiver, there's no use to keep him around.
Hey,
and
Cody,
honestly, if you're the Browns,
OBJ, though.
If you're the Browns, why wouldn't you want to get something for Odell now while you still can?
Yeah, why he's got trading value.
Yeah,
hey, Cody,
he had a great year in like 3 years. What are you gonna get from him?
Wait, hold on, boy. What were you gonna say, woman?
No, I was just gonna say, you know who the Browns remind me of? The 08 Panthers. There's so many similarities, it's ridiculous.
Well,
Myles Garrett, Julius Peppers, the two.
Baker's a better
quarterback.
than Jake Delhomme was.
You know what I'm saying? Jake Delhomme, Baker Mayfield. It's uncanny how much it looks.
That was always my comparison for Myles Garrett. I said that looked like Julius Peppers to me.
I went to that playoff game where he threw 8 interceptions.
You talking about against Arizona?
Five and a
fumble.
So, look, man, we're going on 3 hours, man. I certainly appreciate every single one of y'all for coming on here and talking Panther football, man. This has been so fun, like it always is, man. I definitely appreciate it. Before we get out of here and I finish watching my sorry-ass Clemson Tigers try and mount an offense, which, by the way, ain't going very well, if I'm being frank.
Your punter can throw a good ball.
Oh, dude, our fucking punter's good as shit, dude.
They'll put him at quarterback.
Oh, the perfect ball.
Dude, our punter is fucking top tier. I love him.
That's DJ
but Yeah, before we get out of here, man, I want to get everybody's prediction for Minnesota, Carolina, man. I want to hear it because most of these Friday free-for-alls, we had a bunch of Panther picks and not too many people picking the other way. I kind of feel like it might change around this time. We're going to work from the bottom and then work our way up. I'm going to start with Mike, the supreme leader himself. I need a prediction, man. Tell me what you're thinking. Are the Panthers going to beat the Minnesota Vikings, man?
In my mind, my team will always beat every team, but I can't give you a prediction. I can't give you a prediction because I don't really like doing them because the second syllable in the word prediction kind of defines, that term and trying to think what's going to happen because you don't know what's going to happen. And I think this game, we can't look at the O-line. We can't look at the receivers. We can't look at anybody. We have to look at the coaching staff, which is going to be hard to do. And like I said, that shit ball is sitting at the top of that hill and it's ready to start rolling down. And if we lose, it's going 50 miles per hour all the way down.
Oh boy, it's gonna go fast if it starts rolling, man. That seems to be the theme of what people are saying today. That it could get a lot worse. Carolina, I appreciate you for joining us today, man. I want to know what you think. What's your prediction for this game, man?
I heard a prediction today that suggested that the Minnesota Vikings were going to absolutely roll us. But I am a diehard, blue-blooded, black jersey wearing Panther freaking fan. To me, I'm going 27-24 Carolina on a winning walk-off field goal.
27-24 on a walk-off. I like that, man. And hey, man, that's these games have been tight. They've been tighter and tighter. So it would be definitely interesting to see if we can, especially with no McCaffrey. Dude, I'm really looking at this offense, man, in a big type of way.
How much stock do you put into all this Wednesday was like a crazy good? You think that was just media speak? Or do you?
Bro, I'm so glad you brought this up. And then that's another thing. Now there's always this bullshit where whenever you hear Matt Rhule say something good, now we just assume that it's going to be the opposite. Like, whenever he praises a player, either we're releasing them or they have a bad game, or it's like there's this double side of Matt Rhule's mouth that we keep on having to do this thing, man. One, I want to be able to say, if we had our best week of practice, maybe our football team is pissed off in the right kind of way. Maybe they'll come out here to slap the Minnesota Vikings around. That's what I hope.
I forgot who was that. Somebody said after he said that, they was like, "Oh, that means he cutting the whole team down."
Yeah, bro, he might start playing the Water Boys. It's crazy, man. So I don't know. I appreciate you bringing that up because that is one trend that I do not like, man. Why do we have to hate it whenever we hear our head coach give praise to someone that we're like, shit, what's about to happen now, man?
Right.
It's about to be something crazy, and it's like that's not a good trend to have.
If we come out flat, bro,
it's only two people. Oh, go ahead. Two people he don't lie about as far as giving them praise, I guess, in his head, and that's Cam Irvin and Pat Eflin.
So
he get him credit. He mean that shit, man.
The two players that deserve it the least. God. All right, Team Money, man. Give us a prediction, bro. You think the Panthers are going to pull it out, or does Minnesota continue this losing attitude we have in Carolina?
I'm never going to pick against us, so I think we're going to win 27-24. I think it'll come down to the wire.
27-24. All right, so that's two. That's two for the Carolina. Yeah, you said you're picking Carolina, right? 27-24.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like it so far, man. Justin, my man out there in Hawaii, a Gamecocks fan in Hawaii, man.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. I salute to you, man. This is the only time y'all ever hear me say this out my mouth. If South Carolina ever had a chance of beating Clemson, it's this fucking year, man. Y'all ain't got no excuses no more, bro.
We have plenty of excuses.
Oh, dude, like
we ain't shit.
I mean, we looking bad right now.
The same issues the Panthers have on offense.
Exactly.
South Carolina have with their offensive coordinator.
They've never had a good offensive line.
Clemson is in the fourth quarter right now. It's 14-7, and we can't move the ball to save our life, dude. It's terrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. But anyway, man, Justin, give us your prediction for this game, man. Do the Panthers pull it out?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be a little bit long-winded, and I'm gonna bring out the eternal optimist in me. So I'm gonna say that Chuba has his first rushing touchdown of his career, along with getting over another 100-yard game. I'm gonna say Sam starts to exercise on demons, and he goes out and throws 3 passing touchdowns. Defense remains formidable, staunch and all of that. I'm gonna say the final score is gonna be 28-14. We're gonna be able to score. We're gonna score 8 touchdowns in the third quarter. Start exercising some of those demons too.
All right, so you're thinking we might have a get right game. Yeah, okay. All right, I like it. Dave, one half of the PNP podcast. Rashad had to jump out a little bit earlier. I definitely appreciate both of y'all for coming, hang out, and talk about these Panthers, bro. What are you doing, man? You predicting this game? What you got, man? You think the Panthers are gonna pull it out, or the Vikings about to be some more party poopers?
So what's going to happen is for the 6th straight game, the Carolina Panthers will be leading the game at halftime. It'll be something to the effect of like 14-3, something along those lines. We're going to be flat in the third quarter like we always are. And we're going to finally get out a sneaker, and we'll pull it out 20-17.
20-17. Wow. All right, so everybody's thinking
put a lot of pressure on that defense. 17.
Yeah, I'm putting a lot of pressure on that damn doing more than scoring 3 points in the third quarter, man.
I know.
Only got us scoring 6.
It's been
we got outscored in the second half, and my prediction 17-6.
I know. Panther Rhule, Panther Pickle, Kenneth, my man. Tell me what you think of this game. Who's about to win this thing, man?
For several days, I've been calculating that Minnesota was going to win this, and I was come into this room to tell you that Minnesota was going to win this, but I can't do that. I just can't, no matter how much I want to. Because I still think that number one, Kirk Cousins is just your normal pocket passer. You don't really move. I have a lot of hope. I have super hope that Snow can figure that out and send more than they did last year.
Okay.
And with the combination of our running game, I'm saying we're going to win it 21-14.
21-14.
All
right.
So here you go. Just an FYI, man. So Underdog Fantasy, they have an over-under rushing yards for Kirk Cousins. Right now, it's 2.5 yards. And I'm leaning towards picking the over.
You're picking the over? Ah, Dave. Don't do it, man.
Just for the sake of transparency,
it's 2 yards.
Sam Darnold is 11.5 rushing yards.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey, man, Federal Mom says be more positive, Dave. Come on, man.
What are you talking about, man? I picked this to win. What more do you want? This is another game without McCaffrey. I picked this to win every single one of these games.
Bro, he's not going to rush for 4 inches. He's not going to rush for 4 inches, Dave. Come on now.
Pause.
Come on.
I know. I can see Kirk Cousins breaking out. All I need him is do it once. Just do it on a third down. Just do it just one time.
Cousins is gonna take off running one time, and she ain't gonna check his ass, and he ain't gonna do it ever again.
Man, that's a damn shame. We're gonna watch Kirk Cousins rush for a first down, and we're all gonna know that somewhere Dave is smiling with a big ass grin on his face.
It don't matter because I gotta hit at least 3 of these things to make some money, man.
Oh,
you can win up to 20 times your money, so I gotta hit at least 3 of these things.
I would like to see Derek Brown bust loose and force a fumble on Kirk Cousins.
That would be
Just
nice.
flatten his
that.
ass right there on the
Would love that.
Great. That'd be awesome.
Kevin Boshoven.
What's up?
Yeah, man. My Clemson Tigers don't look too good. Be nice
No,
to me, bro. Be nice to me, bro. But what you think about this Panthers Minnesota Vikings game?
I was worried coming in just because of seeing what the Eagles did to us. I'm just like, I don't know what to pick anymore, but I kind of got stuck in my head 23-17 Carolina.
23-17 Carolina, man.
I'm going to pick against Carolina, and I think Robbie Anderson's going to have a breakout game in this game.
But I was right last week. So,
yeah.
All right. Hey, man, I like it, man. We've got a Panthers panel here. Everybody's picking the Panthers. Drew, are you going to be the combo breaker, man? Are you going to be Mr. Party Pooper and just rain on everybody's parade? What's going on, man? What you think about this game?
I can't do it, Cody. I can't.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
Couldn't do it.
I can't do it.
You couldn't do it. What you
everything's pointing to saying it's not going to be pretty, but I'm picking the Panthers 22-16. That defense is going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
That defense is going to be pissed off. Like, you're not blaming us for this one.
I want to add one thing. I think Chin is going to have a remember me moment in the game. I think Chin is going to strip somebody, force a fumble. He might take it back.
He did last time.
I think Chin might have a remember me moment.
All right, so look, y'all. Let me tell y'all where I'm at. I think our defense is going to have a big time kind of day. I think Brian Burns is going to get a strip sack. I agree. I think Jeremy Chin is going to ball out. I think Dante Jackson gets another interception to add on to the career year that he's having. But damn it, y'all put me in this position, man.
Don't do it, Cody.
Don't do it.
Cody.
Y'all put me in this position, man.
Do it, Cody.
Y'all put me in this position.
Turn off the Clemson. You're getting too negative.
Don't do it, Cody.
Panthers are going to lose 13-10.
Keep pounding, Cody.
Panthers are going to lose 13-10, bro.
Well,
I had to break it.
You know what? You was wrong last week.
Let me tell you what.
Last week.
Let me tell you what.
Hold
up.
Take it from the Gamecock fan. Take it from the Gamecock fan. Do not let the negativity of your college team affect your college
team.
Exactly.
Listen, man. I know. Listen, man. I'm trying to hit the reverse jinx over here, man. We've all been picking the Panthers unanimously on the Friday free-for-all. I'm trying to jinx us into getting the W, man. Look.
You've been listening to Mac Attack too much.
No, this is what I'm saying, man. I don't care if I have to be.
Your anger is towards Clemson, not with the Panthers.
No, my anger is toward.
It ain't even just about the L though. But 10 points. Joe Brady need his ass whooped. We only scored 10, bro.
Yeah. You know what? I will start to think better of them when they earn that kind of performance. Until then, we all know from looking with our own two eyes, this Panther offensive line is bad, man. It's bad. And the Minnesota defense has a really good front. They really do, man. If I have to come on here and be the bearer of bad news, I hope I'm wrong, man. You all know I want the Panthers to win. But, man, this offensive line is not good. It's not good, y'all. It's not good. So,
see, baby.
Don't do it, man. Don't do
Cody,
it.
I think G Baby is getting to you, man.
Oh, man.
Where is G Baby?
Let me ask.
It's not your fault, Cody.
Let me ask. We talked during the show about the specifications about how for example, the coaches, Rhule, Fitter, or whoever it is, wants the arm length to be X amount. We've heard them talk about how they want the offensive linemen to be agile so they can block the fast guys, but yet powerful enough to block the power guys. So they want a perfect offensive lineman. Now, I know they ain't been head coach around that long, but we've been waiting for 15 years for them to figure out how to find the perfect offensive lineman, and they ain't found one yet.
Nope.
What do you think they're going to find perfect offensive linemen in this next draft?
It's not. I mean, if okay, I haven't started looking at the draft yet, but the only thing I'm pinpointing on is that our coaches seem dead set with Cam Irving at left tackle and Pat Elflein at left guard, man. And that's not, Matt Paradis hasn't played well with those two to his left. Look, man, hey, Panthers are kings, bro. I will beg for apology to the gods of football if I am wrong, man. But look, they have to earn it. I've said that about this entire season, about every single player on our team, about every coach, about every front office member. The Panthers have no laurels to lie on. They have to earn everything that they win, man. And I'm tired of giving them the benefit of the doubt. The Panthers have to go out and respond to a terrible performance, man. And until our offensive line plays better, it is what it is, man.
Cody, I'm gonna come looking for you Sunday if Carolina wins this game.
Come on, bro.
I was that far from picking against the Panthers this time.
I was
just because I kind of agree with a lot of things of that. They've got to play better than they played last week. They've got to play better than they played week 4.
My big thing is this: if Sam Darnold throws multiple interceptions to the same guy again, we're gonna have a different discussion the next time I show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
like, that's the thing. So like, I'm trying to give Sam. Huh? No, man. I'm not. No. Sam's your guy. You're not gonna bench him for PJ at this point. We're not. We're not entertaining that.
We don't even have anybody to bench him for.
Yeah, Sam's it. We're not in the. We're gonna drop on the PJ business. He's the guy. They traded for this man. He's living. Rhule and Brady is going to play this year.
Man.
They're riding with him.
That's their career.
Point blank period.
Cody, whose comment was that you just posted a second ago?
I didn't read it.
John Mayberry. Can you post that again?
Yeah, right here.
Pointing up.
I mean, listen, there's a lot on our team to be very, very excited about. I mean, very excited about. We have a bunch of really good players on defense. We know Stephon Gilmore is going to come back. Oh, dude, another thing. I can't believe I haven't mentioned this until the end of the damn show. They're saying that if the Panthers are in consideration to make the playoffs, J.C. Horn might indeed be able to return for the playoffs.
I hope not. Nothing against J.C. Horn, but I don't trust this coaching staff's trainers' ability to say, "Oh, this guy's going to be great to come in." I can see him coming into the playoffs and ripping out his making the injury work.
But imagine Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Horn on the field at the same time. If the Panthers really are in the playoffs, dude, that would be a big time. Yeah, that would be a big time thing for the Panthers, man.
And I don't think it's the coaching staff you have to worry about. You have to worry about saving JC from himself.
Yeah. Well, that too. I mean,
if JC can play right now, he would. But if you remember, Michael Jordan had a similar. And I know it's football and basketball, but Jordan was such an explosive player, and as is JC Horn. Jordan had a similar injury. I want to say it was either his rookie or sophomore year.
It was his rookie. No, his sophomore.
Yeah, and it kept him sidelined for a while. So I'm not worried about JC at all. But but like you, Panther Rhule, I don't want to see him rush back too fast.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, real quick, everybody's giving me a ton of grief. Cody, how dare you say that we only score in 10? Well, let me tell you what. If the Panthers shit the bed, I better see everybody giving me my props in due turn, man, because I'm telling you, this offensive line is struggling. But if we come out and put up a good performance, yeah, man, I'm gonna be stoked. I'm gonna come out here and be.
I think Robbie's gonna have a great game
because we were all not all of us. Most of the folks were hyped up last week about how bad we was gonna blow out the Eagles. We was gonna destroy them. We was gonna obliterate them, and that didn't happen. It didn't happen at all.
Kenneth, that's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant to pick them.
Yeah,
we were.
That's why I almost went against them.
I'm willing to bet we would all probably say that on paper the Minnesota Vikings are a better football team than the Philadelphia Eagles. Do we not kind of somewhat agree on that statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if we couldn't do it to Philadelphia, man, like, you know what I'm saying?
We shut down Hurts in the passing game. I mean, it was.
We did. But again, I think we're going to have a fantastic defensive performance. I think our defense is good.
I mean, what
Dak and the
killed us
receivers
last
didn't
week?
have that crazy.
What killed us last week, and we may not want to talk about it. We may be hesitant to say it and blame it on everything else. But the bottom line is, if take away the 3 interceptions, how would that have changed the entire depth of the game last week?
I'm still mad at our defense for biting on that read option. That read option, I think where they bottom.
Keep pounding in the chat room. It says Irvin and Elflin are back. The line will be better than last week.
Well, what's he smoking?
I don't know, man. Like, those 2 guys are the reason I'm
He's got
Elfline ain't back. He's still on IR.
Is Elflin? He's
still on IR. Did they pull him off? Did they pull him off on IR
after today's practice? They would think about activating him for Sunday.
Can they activate him on Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, man.
All I know is
if
I hear the skull chant more than I hear keep pounding in that stadium, I'm gonna sock somebody in the jaw.
Hey, man, but nobody watched the game with one.
Get ready.
Vikings fans take over.
Guys,
the Vikings fans took over last year.
My Facebook page has so many Panthers fans selling their tickets, bro. So get ready, guys.
Keep pounding.
The Panthers' home field advantage does not exist.
Now, see, that's something Tepper's going to have to fix next season.
We had a whole discussion about it on Twitter, man. Because I was giving the fans some heat, and the thing I got back was we got to bring a winning team, and I'm like,
that's bullshit. To me, that's bullshit.
You can't just go off that. You can't just go
off that. That's bullshit. You know what? If you're a PSL owner and you sell your seat, you are a cop-out.
Yes.
I don't give a rat's ass about, I spent $300 and I'm losing money. Well, you're an idiot then.
Hey,
if you cannot support your team in the good time and the bad, then sell your seats.
Sell
rule. Your entire tickets. Don't buy them again. Sell the PSL altogether. If you don't like it, too bad. Go cheer for the Jaguars.
Panther rule. Talk that shit.
Talk that shit, man. Talk that shit. That's a lot of fans. Fans need to hear that, man.
If you spent $300 and you showed up for a game and they sucked, and fine. Get up in your seat with your Panther stuff on and say play better. If you turn around and sell it to the highest bidder, you're a cop out.
Or at least make sure that they're a Panther fan. If you're gonna sell them, make sure it's a Panther fan and make sure that they know the fucking rules to be loud as shit on third down.
I don't know if it's legally possible. I'm going to own up to this. I don't. I know there's rules in there somewhere that I don't know, that I'm not aware of. But if I was David Tepper, if I had to wait till the end of this season, I would say next year, no PSL seat owner is allowed to sell your tickets.
Yeah, there's no way he can pull that. There's no way.
Nah.
But then.
But real quick,
I would do it and let somebody take me to court.
But
David Tepper, he got more money than the government got.
We mentioned on our Tuesday night show, though, the reason that'll never happen is because the PSLs are why every Panthers game is listed as a sellout.
Yeah,
like they make their money on those PSLs. So yeah, they might be a detriment to our fan base, but they're not a detriment to David Tepper's pockets. So they ain't going nowhere, man.
So if I look at it this way, if Panther fans have the nerve to say we're going to sell the seats to the highest bidder, then you keep your mouth shut when David Tepper says no, keep pounding. You set your mouth shut and you stick your nose in the corner because you ain't got no damn right to open your fucking mouth.
But don't worry, man. If they're selling their tickets, they ain't opening their mouth anyway.
Yeah,
that's part of the issue.
Where's my
the whole thing about being a fan, like it's short for fanatic. So you say that you really root for a team. If you really ride for them, you're gonna be with them when it's good. 2015 good, you're gonna be with them when it's fucking 1-15, and it don't matter.
Jimmy Clausen.
Like, bro, I hate to say it because I don't want to sound like that guy, but when I was in high school and younger and shit, when I played on organized teams, we weren't always good. I played football because I love the fucking sport. I watch football now because I love the sport. I root for the team because I'm from Carolina. If I had an opportunity to go to a game, we could be losing. You could best believe I'm gonna leave that damn stadium with a cracked voice. I might not be able to speak. That's just
I agree.
So if I was able to get there, like if you guys can hear me when I'm watching the game here in my crib out here in Hawaii, there's people outside. My neighbors can hear me out on the other side of the street when we make a good play and when I see something boneheaded happen. It's just how I am. Like, I'm a fan in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
In 2015, the law knocked on my door. I was allowed.
Cody,
I live in a trailer
That's how
park,
you gotta
so
do it, man.
Cody.
Yeah.
I just saw DJ throw the football in the back of a cheerleader.
Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing, dude. I'm mad.
He literally
I'm
hit
really
a cheerleader in the
mad.
back of the head.
Dude,
Cody.
I'm so mad at this team, dude. I don't even know.
Cody.
I'm so upset.
Cody, I'm a Clemson fan.
Did he
just
hit
like
the cheerleader because she was giving him a
dude, what is happening to our team, man?
Listen,
The dynasty's coming apart.
Cody, I'm gonna keep it a
Tony
buck,
Elliott
bro.
needs to go. Don't am I wrong?
It ain't just Tony Elliott, fam. Let me tell you, this man, the expectations that was on DJ was unrealistic, but bro, we used to laugh at dudes in high school that wore wave caps and headbands at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like this dude, bro, you can just look at everything he do and tell he just not really focused, bro. That's what this is, man. His pops on social media, marketing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm
bro,
friends with his pops on Twitter.
Maybe your head coach ain't really all that.
His head ain't.
Man, shut up. Ain't no one talking
please,
to you.
dog.
Listen, Deshaun Watson made that man.
Man,
we got to go.
Deshaun Watson made that coach.
We got to go, dog.
Without Deshaun Watson, that man got fired.
Bro, listen, man.
Deshaun Watson saved his job.
Yeah, no, one, I think you make a great point. The expectations on DJ Uyunglele were very, very high. He's definitely not playing anywhere near the level that Trevor did. But listen, man, just like we're talking about Joe Brady's play calling.
You look like how Trevor looked in the league.
Listen, the play calling has been bad for Clemson, specifically in the playoffs, for a lot of years now, man. And it really has me wondering about Tony Elliott. I know this is the Panther podcast, but dude, my Tigers, the offensive drop off is really.
Didn't y'all want Tony Elliott as the head coach?
Yeah.
No,
we were in love with the man like a year ago.
That's what I'm saying. They wanted Tony Elliott as the head coach or the offensive coordinator.
Hey man, y'all still want him?
Well, you're going to lose that man for anything.
Is he better or worse than
I don't know
Carolina?
about that, bro. I done seen the same stories going around about Tony Elliott since last year, bro. So I don't know about all that.
There were Vol fans just literally burning and crying and screaming because they hired the coach they got. Now them same fans is like, oh yeah, he's our guy.
But Cody, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth though, bro. This does have me worried because these kind of seasons, these kind of moments are the ones that can open that recruiting door ever so slightly. And I'm not saying Dabo got to change his philosophy, but this whole transfer portal stuff, like he really got to get at a second look, bro.
No,
Arch Manning ain't going to come.
One, you are 100% correct.
Oh shit,
Dabo, listen. One of the things that one of the reasons why Nick Saban is one of the best coaches in college football is that man is so quick to adapt. Whenever he has to change his offense from a run-first football team to an air raid passing attack, dude, he's ready to do it. He's ready to fire coaches. He is willing to do whatever is necessary to win, man. God, this team sucks so
Smart
bad.
people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from the mistakes of others, man.
Yep.
When you bring in a Lane Kiffin, you bring in a Steve Sarkisian, and you even though they're not there, the principles that they had when they were there still linger around. You go from Jake Coker,
62-yard touchdown reception,
to now, damn, Alabama QBU. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do that by adapting. It really is, bro.
It really is. And look, Dabo is at that. I'll say this and then I'll wrap it up for the non-Clemson fans that are dying here. But
maybe Dabo got to go.
No. It's not Dabo. What needs to happen is that we're at that point where
Dabo too old.
Clemson is one of the newer powers in college football. There is no guarantee that our success is going to sustain itself. You have to be willing to adapt.
Yes.
And it starts with Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney will get so mad on the sidelines at like Kobe Pace or other players, but you never see him ripping into DJ. Like, why is DJ above criticism?
Didn't Dabo say if players get paid, I quit?
Yep,
sure did. He never said those exact
because DJ
words.
Daddy
is he still coaching?
DJ Daddy is Samoan Suge Knight. That's why I ain't saying that.
You know what? Really is, bro.
He is.
It really is. If y'all look up this man, he was a bodyguard for Chris Brown.
Yeah.
He was a bodyguard for like a lot of big time famous musicians, man. Hey.
You want to know what Clemson needs?
Hey, Cody, I'm gonna have you. I gotta have you on the channel, bro.
Joe Brady as head coach.
Dude, I'm ready to do it. Whenever you want me on, bro, just let me know. I'll come on and talk Clemson for 2 hours if you need me, bro. This is terrible.
Same.
If Dabo lose to South Carolina 2 years straight, he gonna be gone.
Man, we ain't even gonna entertain that shit right now.
If
man.
Deshaun Watson didn't come, he was about to go.
All right, look. We over 3 hours, man. We're at 3 hours. 3 hours and 14 minutes. You damn right I am, Dave. I'm done hearing about this.
You haven't got to
bro.
be a Gamecock fan.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, bro, you talking crazy shit.
Bro, Kevin and Justin are Gamecock fans. So,
hey, you remember who recruited Clowney to South Carolina, right? Gilmore.
Interesting.
You remember Clowney, right? When Tyler
have y'all been ranked since then?
Yeah, right. Hey, the only time a South Carolina fan feels a little bit of happiness is when another team is beating Clemson. I
want to add a little bit to the Gamecocks fans. Thank you for that win last week.
You appreciate it.
My balls really.
They almost came back. They made it. They were starting making a comeback.
South Carolina is the.
What's that? Paul Walker on Fast and Furious. We didn't almost do nothing. We never had that damn game.
South Carolina is the West Mantooth of the state.
How dare you?
Yeah.
We are.
Mantooth is a saint.
I'm an honest Gamecock fan. We got to get right.
Cody
had the answer.
All right, man. Look. I appreciate every single one of you, man. I'm going to give you each an opportunity. And I'm going to give you each an opportunity. Hold on, Dave. I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to shout out any content that y'all want to plug and put out there. Dave, tell them what y'all got going on over at PNP, man.
Oh, we got everything going on. We starting our draft profiles. Again. I'm doing a lot of fantasy content. And somebody asked in the chat, yes, we are a podcast. We go live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out on YouTube. Just search for PNP, Rashad and Dave. And we do everything across the board, man. Shout out to C3. Shout out to everybody here. We appreciate the love. You can follow us on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. And that's that.
Dave, at some point, we're going to have to get another roundtable going, man. Like another
Don't
Panther
worry, man. We'll get one. We'll get one.
Yeah,
we do it during the bye week.
Yeah, I know. That's in order, man. We got to start.
How soon is our bye week?
13. Week 13.
Week 13.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
We still got a ways away.
But
don't worry, we're either going to be talking about playoff push or draft content. One or the other.
Yeah, and it's going to be lit no matter what, man.
We're going to know what we know then.
Yeah, man. So, One Carolina, I definitely appreciate you coming on here, man. Your insights are always very valued, especially on the O-line. I appreciate you for jumping on today, man. Tell them where they can find you, or if there's anything you want to plug, man, go ahead and do your thing, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all too, man. I don't want to plug nothing but the C3 Panther podcast.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate it. Hey, man, y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I say this about all Panther creators on YouTube. The rising tide lifts all boats, man. Facts. We all out here trying to catch that come up for Panther Nation. So I definitely appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. T-Money, the man. I appreciate you for joining me again, bro. You gotta let these people know where they can find you and what you got going
on. Mr. T-Money 1993 on the YouTube and the Twitter. And for anybody who may be interested, I don't know if that's everybody knows that. I'm an undergraduate student assistant at Clinton College in South Carolina for basketball. So I do have another Twitter. That's, I don't want to lie and say the wrong name of it. But if you want to keep up with what I'm doing as coaching this year and that kind of stuff, it's C, and then today is Muhammad. So yeah, our season is about to start. We have our first scrimmage on Tuesday, and our first game of the season next weekend.
All right, cool, man. But y'all check out T and everything that's got going on, y'all. Justin, you have anything you want to plug before you get out of here, man?
Nah, I don't have anything to plug, but everyone say I appreciate you guys, C3, having this Friday free for all.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah, man. I hope everybody's enjoying it, man. The Friday free for all. I feel like it lets people kind of let their guard down, man. You ain't got to be ashamed to come on camera and talk Panthers. It's all good. Everybody's got love. That's the whole point of this thing. Panther Rhule, Kenneth, Panther Pickle on Twitter. Yep. What's up with you, man? How can the people find you? And is there anything you want to say before we get out of here, man?
You can get me on Twitter easily. I float around to the podcast. I watch PNP. I float around to all of them. I listen to about every podcast I can get my hands on at work because I ain't supposed to be listening to them, but I do anyway. So, but thank God they still require masks. So, because that's how I had my earbud. So, I'll be around and just you can hit me up on Twitter.
All right. All right. Kevin Boshover, go ahead and get in another snide remark before we before we get off here, man.
You know what I'm about to say. You can find me on Twitter at kbosh89. And if you're like a talented like high school football prospect and you want to achieve greatness and have to worry about your coach being all in the videos, dancing, South Carolina.
Dude. Man, I'm about to kick you off this damn show, bro.
Dabo has a weird nose. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ah, dude, leave his nose alone, man.
Bro, y'all, the root of y'all name is.
Yeah, man. Like, what are y'all talking about, bro? Dude, y'all gotta get y'all name right. A chicken has never done shit to a tiger in the history of the world, bro.
I guess you missed those last 5 years, man.
Man, whatever. My man Drew, all the way up there in Maine, he's been a staple of the Friday Free for All. I appreciate you coming on again, brother. Tell them where they can find you, man. What you got to tell the people?
You can find me on Twitter, AJLindsay1216. Looking forward to the game this weekend. Hopefully the Panthers can pull it out, and if they do, Cody, I'm gonna be looking for that apology.
Hey, and you know what? I'll gladly give it to you, man. I'll give that apology to everyone.
If we lose, we all got to apologize to Cody.
100%.
I will.
100%. I want personalized letters from each and every one of you, bro.
I'm still not because of that disrespectful 10. That 10 points is people lost.
Yeah, if we lose, Cody will know it on his post-game show.
Nothing else.
Oh yeah. Hey, dude, we're just gonna have to see, man. We're just gonna have to see what this team does. Our team needs to respond. We're at I'll leave it on this. The Carolina Panthers are at a turning point in their season. If they're not able to get this game on track, to me, it's a recipe for disaster the rest of the way, man. But we're going to think positive, man. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The notification bell lets you know every single time we go live. My name is Cody Lashley. This has been another edition of the Friday free-for-all. Until the post-game show on Sunday, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Yes, sir.
Pounding, guys.
Hey, I'm Kat, mom of 3 and founder of Ritual, the company setting a new standard in the supplement industry. When I was pregnant with my first daughter, I remember staring at my prenatal vitamins and thinking, what's in this stuff? All I found were vitamins high in heavy metals, synthetic colorants, and lacking in the very essential nutrients we need. I believe women deserve to know what they are putting in their bodies and why. So at 4 months pregnant, I quit my job to reinvent the prenatal vitamin. We scoured the world for the best quality ingredients, backed by clinical studies and third-party tested for heavy metals and microbes. And this year, we were awarded the Purity Award from the Clean Label Project, the supplement safety certification that tests for 200 harmful chemicals and toxins. With Ritual, you'll know where your ingredients come from and why we use them. Join our family of skeptics with 40% off your first month when you visit ritual.com/podcast.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.